You're live. We went live faster than usual. Normally I have to say it at least 5 times.
You're going. You're leaving.
Yes. Hello, everyone. How are we all? Not me, who gets pissy at people in Discord who nag me to schedule the stream, and then me forgetting the stream. That's not a thing that happened. But yes, hello, everyone. Oh, I'm going to move that other chair. Yeah, because you came in at a very relaxed angle. You were just like, However, there was not room for your chair. So, okay, right. Yes, hello everyone. How are we doing? Welcome to the show. We have a show.
We have an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yes. We're rebuilding some computers today. So this is my PC, and we're putting the 7800X3D that we were dicking around with last week into this. Why is there a magnet on the back of my PC there? What are you... Anyway, yes, so my PC's getting an upgrade. So we're going to do that. And then the platform that comes out of here, I'm going to shove in the Lianli that we took other stuff out of last week. What did we take? Oh, yeah, we took this out of the Lianli, didn't we? Yeah. I was going to say, what was in the Lianli? So, yeah, we're swapping things around. For the purposes of which, I bought that 7800X3D with the intention that in the shop I would have a low, medium, and high spec PC to sell. But at the end of the day, I've come to the conclusion that I'm not going to sell a high-spec PC. Anyone who comes in and is actually going to spend high-spec PC money is going to specify what they want. Or at the very least, there's going to be a bit more nuance to it. They're not going to buy the one that's on the shelf. And also, like 99% of people who come in asking for gaming PCs, I say, how much are you looking to spend? And they say, £500. And I'm like, okay. We'll see what we can do for you there, madam. So yeah, like the Lianli was spec'd up to like £1,500 kind of thing, and it was just like, yeah, it wasn't going to sell. So I'm better off shoving my stuff into it so I can drop the price on it, and actually just taking the upgrade myself. Because I was going to upgrade sooner or later anyway. So
I think it's the first time you'll have a better CPU than me.
Yeah, I was going to say, you've got a 5800X3D at the moment, haven't you? So yeah, which is still fine. Like, at the end of the day, the only reason why you haven't upgraded is
it's fine.
Well, I mean, it's still in what, the top 5 for gaming CPUs?
Yeah,
more basically, you know, allowing for the fact of like, you know, the actual top spec gaming CPUs, it's getting pretty crowded up there at the moment. There's some really competitive CPUs on the market, but the 5800X3D is still a stonking fast gaming CPU. So, like, yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, maybe I guess if the 7800X3D just destroys all expectations, but I'm not holding my breath, which is why I'm putting a 7800X3D in.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to a friend about this last night, and because you know, obviously the obvious question is, the 9800X3D is right around the corner. Like, what, end of the month, were they saying?
Possibly.
Possibly end of the month.
We've seen nothing official, but obviously.
Yeah. And also, the implication is that AMD want to get it out the gate as soon as possible because the 7000 series isn't selling. Because no one really cares about it.
Yeah.
Because it's just, yeah. And I think part of the reason for that is that the gamers are waiting for the X3D chips, because why wouldn't you at this
also,
point?
just waiting for the performance uplift in gaming.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Yeah. But I think one of two things is going to happen. The 9800X3D comes out, and it's not really meaningfully faster than the 7800X3D.
Yeah.
So you buy the 7000 because it's really cheap right now. It's amazing value for money. Or the other thing is that the 9800X3D comes out and it's massively faster. And if it's massively faster, AMD will already know this, and they're going to slap a $450 or $500 price tag on it. In which case, you buy the 7800X3D because it's really cheap. So I'm putting in a 7800X3D in my rig.
I think a £450 price tag isn't unreasonable.
No, I'm not
Given
saying it's
that's
unreasonable.
That's
Yeah.
the same as what the 7800 X3D was. And
Yeah.
if it comes out and obviously it is another 10% on it or another 15% on it,
Yeah.
then it's worthwhile.
Yeah.
I think, because obviously effectively at day one to day one, it's the pricing is basically at parity.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have certainly seen, as Quinton says, at least in America, the 7800 X3D has gone up in price a lot.
Really? Yeah.
I don't know if it's done the same.
Yeah, what's the going
in
rate in
UK.
Europe still? Yeah, because
I don't know if the UK is the same.
I know it was possibly creeping up because at some point, I think someone somewhere, maybe you, said £280, and I must confess, I bought this one secondhand for 300, and that might have been a bad buy. However, if they've just jumped up in price, then it sounds like I didn't actually get tanked too much. Wow, those graphs don't look good though.
Massively.
Yeah, that's a step though, isn't it?
Yeah, we're talking September to now is £60.
Yeah, that's still
But since all-time lowest, it's £70 sort of thing.
yeah.
So
What's the cheapest right now in the UK on that list?
right now is Amazon at 370,
370, yeah.
which is obviously gone back up, but
yeah.
I don't think it's horrific.
I think it stepped up a little bit in light of the fact of the 9000 series was a solid meh.
And also the fact of obviously if AMD's in remotely any degree of competency, they'll have stopped producing it a month before the 9000 series went out because, oh no, the price has gone back up.
Yeah.
I guess our new processor that's £10 cheaper than the old one because the old one's out of supply and is 10% faster. Guess you'll just buy the new one.
Yeah.
Which is the competent thing to do. But
Yeah.
But comparing obviously day one to now, we're still 60, 70 quid cheaper than launch price.
Fair.
So, yeah, the price has still gone down, but it's certainly gone back up. Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. All right. I saw the note about the hoodie. I'm going to talk about the hoodie in a sec. I'm just going to round off this conversation. Our game's going back to CPU bound. Why upgrade? So it depends on what you're playing. No, a lot of games are still. Most people are still GPU bound. However, for me, I am CPU bound in a couple of areas for two reasons. So number one, that's a 4080, and I'm running at 1440p. So CPU is actually a feasible bottleneck for me because I actually have a, I say flagship, near flagship graphics card. It's certainly high end. It's not the fastest because obviously the 4080 Super exists and so does the 4090. But the 4080, it's a pretty goddamn fast graphics card, So that obviously means that CPU becomes more relevant to me. But the other reason as well is two major workflows for me are CPU bound. So my video production workflow is CPU bound when I'm transcoding video and also when I'm editing and exporting video. Both of those processes are heavily CPU bound because while the frame encode is GPU accelerated, but transformations are CPU are done on CPU. So even though NVENC is handling all of the frame decode and encode, what I do to that frame in the middle bit, that's done on CPU.
Yeah.
So the GPU is taking up a lot of the heavy lifting, but there is still a lot of CPU load in there as well. And when I'm doing stuff, my CPU is pegged to 100% when I'm actually doing heavy encode, decode, export. And if your CPU's at 100%, that means you're CPU bound, So that's, if I go to a higher CPU, I will get more performance. The other thing as well is that I'm a heavy player on VRChat. VRChat is horribly optimized and you will very easily get CPU bound because it does a lot of stuff on CPU, some of which is very inefficient. Their game code, so just widgets in the game, like interactive stuff in game, is very heavily CPU bound and can get very CPU heavy. And also, the game can just be fairly laggy anyway because it keeps a lot of plates spinning at the same time. Like for example, let's say you have an avatar that has multiple meshes. So they have, say, the avatar is standing around and they can optionally have a coat on. That coat might be a separate mesh, and even if that mesh is disabled, VRChat still has it loaded and rendered, so that way, when that player enables the mesh, it instantaneously appears without causing a stutter. But this results in a game that is extremely heavy for what it's actually doing. So there's pros and cons to it. However, either way, this results in a game that is surprisingly CPU bound, considering how much it's also very heavy on your GPU. Anyway, those are two things that I do a lot, and I'm CPU bound in those two things. So I'm upgrading.
To 480 hertz monitors.
No. So yes. Cool, right. Just quickly coming back to the hoodie, because there's not a lot to say about it, but just saying, yeah, here is my sample hoodie. And my comments are, I've already spilt something on it, so that's cool. I'm very happy with it. As we were told in advance, it is electric blue. You know, as you can see, it's extremely blue, but also I quite like it. I feel colourful, and I'm not really a colourful person. So I'm just like, you know.
I feel colourful.
I am full of colour.
I feel powerful.
Specifically one of them. I am neither R or G, but I am B. So yeah. So yes. Anyway, but yeah, I'm happy with the production quality of it. You know, it's like, don't get me wrong. This isn't changing my world. You know, there's some threads on it here and there. Like, there we go. There's some thread there. You know, from production and such. So like, this isn't the best hoodie I've ever put on in my life. However, if I'd ordered the best hoodies that I could purchase, then this hoodie would probably end up costing 60 quid. And personally, I don't really like paying £60 for a hoodie. So yeah, I wanted it to be cheaper than that. However, I'm more than happy with the quality that I have. I like it. The sizing is good at the moment. I bought the large, and it's a bit too big for me, but I like it. It's loose and baggy and comfy. And also, I haven't washed it yet, so it's entirely possible that it will shrink slightly. So to be confirmed. But
depends if it's 99% polyester.
I don't know these things. I throw stuff into my washing machine. I put it on Cotton Eco 40 degrees or something, and I hit the go button. And good luck, everyone in the washing machine. You know. So yeah.
Do you separate out the colours?
No.
From your whites?
I don't have any whites. Have you seen how I dress? I don't have any white clothing. So yeah, and like, certainly some of my bed sheets have a very weird tint to them. But
because of the washing.
Because of the washing. But like, I don't care. It's a bed sheet. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I'm quite happy with it so far. Yeah, this is the large, and I am definitely a medium-sized person, but I'm quite happy with it. So yeah, I forgot to order the T-shirts, so I still need to check the T-shirts, but I'm going to order those today. And
I started perusing the other T-shirts and stuff that you can get from there. Just most expensive first.
Interesting.
Just kind of the options that are on there. And it might be something you want to consider in the sense of just releasing two versions of everything and just kind of going,
here's an expensive option.
Here's a super expensive hoodie.
Yeah.
Here's the less expensive hoodie that's still fine, but it's a less expensive hoodie.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
And just,
yeah.
that's kind of why I was looking, because it's also a case of like the slightly more expensive T-shirts.
Yeah.
You could also get them embroidered.
Oh, okay.
Instead of just printed.
Yeah.
So you could like have an embroidered logo on it.
Yeah. I like the idea of having the multiple ones available, because while I don't want to have too much choice, because I want to keep it simple, but at the same time, like, I don't buy expensive clothes. So it feels weird to me to sell expensive clothes, but also I'm not the one buying them, so that's it's your money, your choice. If you want to spend 70 quid on a really expensive hoodie with Adamant IT written on it, go ahead, you know. So yeah, that's a good idea to make that available. But that's where we're up to with the merch, basically. I have a sample, I'm happy with this. I need to get samples of the t-shirts. Once I've confirmed those, at that point I will then actually launch. I've also started making a move with an artist friend of mine on getting other stuff done. I have a sketch for the Dean design, which just, I love it when you talk to an artist and you're like, I kind of want this, but I don't know if that's possible or what that would look like. And they come back to you an hour later saying, here's what you asked for. And you're like, yeah, that's it. That's what I wanted. Sometimes I love it when an artist just delivers on exactly what you asked for.
Especially when you're like, I want a thing and stuff. And I want this circle to be less circle.
Yes. So yeah. I have a design for a Dean mug, which is going to happen. And I guess...
Does the Dean mean something? Is there a meaning of it?
Are you aware of the source material?
In the fact,
Yeah.
the fact that it comes from the Iron Robot or whatever it's
The
called.
Iron Giant.
Giant.
Yeah. So, okay. So just for full context, in the Discord, there's a Discord emoji called Dean, and it is Dean from the Iron Giant holding up a mug like this. And I think it's extremely funny, and it's a good reaction pic. So
what does it mean? What is the context when you'd use it?
It's just a you know, it's just a it's a shit-eating grin. It's a haha, and it's a suggestive. It's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's just a ho, ho, ho. It's a sensible chuckle, you know. So yeah.
Yes.
But yes, I think it's extremely funny. It's maybe I'm the only one who thinks it's extremely funny, but I still like it. But obviously, because it's Dean from the Iron Giant, I can't exactly make merchandise of it. But so basically, what I've done is I've commissioned Paige to redraw that, except it's me instead of Dean. So you can now get my face on a mug. So yeah, I have become a marketable mug with my mug on a mug. So yeah, so that's in progress.
Yes.
And then finally as well, the other design that I want to do, which is a actual like design t-shirt where it's going to have, the idea is it will be a circuit diagram depicting power injection. I have started to, I need to do an MS Paint version of it to give to Paige, because obviously he has no idea what the context is. So I'm going to do an MS Paint drawing of it and say, can you artify this? And yeah, he will then come back and make it look not crap. And then that will be the design one. So that's now in the works as well. So yes, what were you about to say?
Just the other designs and stuff, just for like the logo things and so on. The other thing I thought of is the fact of possibly doing a black version, because currently the images on the site are only in white.
Oh yeah, do a colour inverted
So you'll want a
version.
black version for some of the base coloured shirts and a white version for some of the other ones.
Yeah.
So it's just a case of just having those two designs.
Yeah, I will. I'll throw up a inverted version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just thinking that like a black text on white mug with, you know, a blue inside would look a lot better than a white logo on a white mug with a blue inside.
Yeah. Well, also I'll also just upload inverted designs of all the designs, because then someone could get like someone could get black on blue just because they like that look or something like that, and it just means that you can just pick out the color combination that you think looks nice. Because as it is, I just selected a whole bunch of colors because I was just like, you pick the color you like. You know, what's your favorite color?
Yeah.
You know,
the other
blue
thing
is default, but you know, if that's too blue for you, then get it in grey. You know. Yeah.
There's also for the embroidered ones, you can get, you know how some shirts have the logo. Sorry, not the logo, the label on the back, high on the neck. You can get that embroidered with anything, effectively. So you could do effectively a stealth logo version that would just had it there.
Yeah.
So it'd be a t-shirt just with the embroidered logo here, and you could effectively embroider that in blue on blue.
Yeah.
So you'd see it because of the contrast of the weaves and so on, but you wouldn't see it because of the color contrast.
Yeah.
So you could just do kind of a stealth mode like that and things like that.
Yeah, that might be interesting as a as an option. I'm not super into doing any kind of stealth options because I think stealth branding only works when you're selling it on the merits of the apparel itself. And like, as far as I'm concerned, the apparel itself is just bog standard apparel that you could buy anywhere. So I'm not personally, I don't see why you would buy a stealth version of my fourth wall apparel. Like, for someone like Linus Tech Tips, it makes sense because they're actually selling really high quality apparel. They are developing their own apparel, and you would want to buy it on the merits of it being the best T-shirt you've ever bought. You know, so having a stealth options makes sense there.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm just selling a T-shirt with my name on it. I don't understand why you'd want a stealth version of that personally. A discreet version, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway. Adamant IT CH341A box, 3D printing time. That's a cool idea. I don't think that's something that I would sell as such, but it would be cool to do up a version of that and just make it available for download, and then people can print it themselves, or they can just get it printed from a 3D printing service. Like, I'm not interested in selling that myself because it would require me to do logistics. Which isn't something I'm willing to do because I don't have time. I've got the ability to do that, and I would love to do that, but let's be realistic, I won't. So I will not make any such promise. But I have kind of been thinking of doing a redo of my CH341A box, just because I now have the ability to do it myself. That would be cool. So yeah. Cool. All right, that's apparel. Let's see. Right, was there anything else going on in chat, or are we up to date? I think we're up to date.
I think that's mostly it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
If I've missed any conversation starters that people made, then repeat them because I'm not going to scroll up at this point. I'm going to start at the bottom of the chat again. So yes, Adamant IT Lunchbox. Ha! Do people still use lunchboxes? Probably. I suppose. Yeah. Oh well. I'm going to start on that in just a sec. Well, yeah, okay. Whatever. All right. I'm going to, well, hang on a sec. I'll finish my coffee. Dan says, apologies if this has already been suggested. What about a T-shirt that says it's never the CPU on the front, and except when it is on the back? I guess I could. Part of me doesn't believe in that. That saying has become a lot more nuanced over time. And also, part of me doesn't want to merchandise it because I kind of ripped it off from Jessa Jones's "It's Never the Coil." But on the flip side, it is different, and I don't think Jessa Jones is going to C&D me. So,
also, there'd be quite a lot of difficulty given it's different words.
Yeah, exactly. So it just, I don't know. It just feels. It feels like I'm stealing their. It feels like I'm stealing their idea, but. But also I've done a transformative version of it, so yeah. So yes, yeah, I will consider that, Dan. I will consider it because it does still hold up for desktop repair. It is never the CPU, unless it is, but it's never the CPU.
Unless it's 13th or 14th Gen.
Yeah, but also like last week, case in point.
Or a 5600G.
Yeah. All right, someone said 3D print, time to fire it up. Not right now, but also Mini Tam says, what happened to the RC car? It got fixed. I bought a new motor for it, and I bought some new drive shafts from someone on eBay. They got fixed up. They're both fully functional and went back to the customers. So yeah, that was a great success. I figured out how to finish disassembling it as well. There were some C-clips that needed to be removed and stuff like that. It was extremely awkward. Considering how accessible those cars look when you take the cover off, getting the engine out, massive pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I was kind of shocked and appalled at how they managed to fumble that. I'm like, this thing was designed to be really easy to swap to fix.
Yeah.
And I understand like the differentials and drive shafts being a little bit awkward because that's, but the three easy components, the ESD, the motor controller, the motor itself, and the RF unit. Those three should just be a couple of screws and they come out. But the motor was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, it got done though. Okay, I'm going to start taking this apart.
Good.
All right. All right. All right.
Are we expecting anything on Black Friday? Cyber Monday, Prime Days, etc., etc.
Last couple have been a bit crap, if
because-
you ask me.
There's nothing really on there. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think there's going to be anything. The only things that might get discounted are the Amazon hardware things.
Yeah.
You know, like the Kindles and the
Yeah.
Oros, whatever the cameras are called. But also, you buy those cameras and they'll be discontinued in 7 months, and
Yeah.
you'll need to spend £50 a month on the subscription.
There's nothing I really care about that will actually get discounted. Because,
Yeah.
like, in the good old days, you know, on a Black Friday, you'd see 2 terabyte SSDs drop to 60 quid and things like that. And you'd be like, hell yeah, buy me 10 of those, you know.
Yeah.
But, like, that's just not going to happen these days just because the prices are where they are. You know, the margins on most of the stuff that we actually care about right now are so thin on the ground anyway that they're not going to be meaningfully discounted.
Yeah.
So, you know, there'll be lots of just various just stuff there, but there's not going to be anything that makes you go, wow, because the stuff that people really care about is already just heavily competitively priced, I think. So, yeah.
Yeah. The only thing...
Yeah, like GPU sales are rarely more than 5%, exactly, you know.
Yeah, the only things I can kind of see there being any sort of discounting on is like cables. You know, like
Yeah.
you know, USB cables, HDMI cables, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, I could see
There might
myself
be
buying some of those because they're always useful.
Yeah, and there might be some margin actually in those, so there might be some discount. But in reality, no, probably not. I think we saw some discounts on Logitech,
Just
like
going to put
keyboard
that
and
over
mice, last year, and also some Corsair keyboard and mice and so on. So maybe a little bit on that, but other than that, no, not really.
Yeah. Like if we saw some massive sales on Logitech and or Corsair keyboards and mice, I might pick some of those up for the shop.
Yeah.
Because people do come in and ask for keyboards and mice sometimes, and sometimes people come in and they look at the demo counter and they go, "Oh, are the keyboards and mice for sale?" And I say, "No, because those are actually garbage.
Yeah.
I know they look pretty, but trust me, they're actually tat."
Yeah.
I was, because when I bought all of them, I was looking for the cheapest viable mechanical keyboards and mice, and I just ended up buying just a lot of shit, basically. So yes, I'm going to crack open. We've got the Graham D. Grahamer today, so we're drinking Orchard English Vintage Cider. This is the Aldi stuff.
Yeah.
A real classic West Country cider, slowly matured until it's bursting with flavour. Served lightly chilled with traditional ploughman's lunch. So yeah, this is at 8.2. So yeah, this one bottle is 4.1 units. Is this a 500ml bottle? Yeah. So this is 4.1 units. So yeah, yeah. Leroy, I guess. So yes, are you going? Yeah. All right. There we go.
You'll have to walk in and pick up your car tomorrow.
Oh no. Unironically, you might be right. We'll see how we go. Yeah, because I had to drive back to the shop this afternoon to bring my PC along. So yeah, we'll see how. Yeah, might be a thing. Drinking it until this evening will probably be all right, or I can come back and get it later or something.
Also, yes, just eat this evening.
Yeah. Cool. If I'm in the state that I was last week, then no. Yeah, because last week it was
a case. Drink to get to that state.
Yeah, last week that was a matter of like, no, I would not get behind a car. Are you? Yeah, there's an alarm going off outside. Is that alarm bleeding through?
I was just trying to work out what was going on.
Yeah.
Because it's something I rag on about on intruder alarms all the time. Is
What no one listens to.
how
them.
they're completely useless.
Yeah.
Because everyone's reaction to that is, "Oh my god, turn off that annoying noise." Not, "Someone might be breaking in. Perhaps I should do something."
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. It's just stopped anyway, so that's fine. All right.
I
let's see.
didn't expect it to be audible, but just in
Yeah.
case I saw someone hot wiring your car with a screwdriver.
My car's got a fairly decent immobilizer in it, so
The rust. Or the lack of oil.
the lack of fuel right now. Yeah.
It's immobilized because it has no oil in the engine. The engine is seized. Also, hello, Paul. Good evening, Mr. Daniels.
Hello.
Or good early morning, I guess.
Yeah. Let's see. Bench cam with face?
Pow! Look at your black PC.
Yeah. I just auto expose. Oh yeah. Oh, that'll do.
If you auto, I think it changes the shutter speed.
No, not normally.
No?
Not
Oh,
unless
okay.
not unless it drops to night mode. I mean, I would take it down a bit because my hands are just exploding.
Graham, as soon as it's sunny.
Yeah. Good morning, sunny Britain. I think about that video a lot. Do you know the one I'm talking about? Yeah. All right. Best car security is to drive stick. That would be true were it not for the fact that that's standard issue in Europe. Everyone drives stick in Europe. So yeah, for the longest.
Imagine having gears.
All right, whatever. For the longest time, whenever I heard Americans saying, "Can anyone drive stick?" and stuff like that, I'm like, I did not understand what that meant. Whereas now I actually realise they mean a manual gearbox, and I'm like, what do you mean you can't drive a manual gearbox? You know, but yeah.
The most oh no moment of my driving career of getting into a car was when I had a courtesy car recently, and it was a Kia Punto 0.5 kilogram thing.
Yes.
It had like an 800cc engine
Oh.
that basically didn't have a flywheel, and
no.
even though it was
Ring, ring, ring.
even though it was at 2,000 RPM, you touch the clutch in ever so slightly, and it drops to stuttering.
Oh no. Yeah.
And it was just like,
Yeah. Like, I mean, a heavy clutch is understandable on
it wasn't that it was
old car.
heavy; it was the fact that there was so little mass
Yeah.
that even though you were revving
get it, yeah.
it just kind of went.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is horrid.
Yeah. Because like my car's got a heavy lumpy clutch because it's an old race car, you know.
Yeah.
That's its excuse. But at the same time, though, if when you feel the engine suddenly dying, if you stamp onto the clutch again, it will come back. You know,
Yeah.
It doesn't just immediately go clip.
Yeah.
Right. Let's take out this breeze block. Ugh. This should be illegal. I will say it every time I take this graphics card out. This should be illegal. Where's that? Hang on a sec. I'm just going to get my 3080 Ti just for the lols.
Imagine only having one clutch.
There's my 3080 Ti by comparison. Like the 3080 Ti is not a chonk boy, but it is a long boy, you know. But yeah, whatever. No GPU anti-sag. I've already taken it out. All right, I'm going to put those over there. Yeah, that was my anti-sag bar and that was propped up under it. And yes, I absolutely run anti-sag on big graphics cards. Okay, right. I'm going to carry on disassembling.
You versus the graphics card she tells you not to worry about.
Yeah. Graham, I uploaded your mugshot on Discord. You're welcome. Find out what this is, Caradog. I assume that's in general or something. I'm just curious because I know someone. Oh, yeah. Hey, that was a pretty good impression I did, wasn't it? That's not bad. Yeah, that's not.
Page, here's a reference.
My anti-sag bar wasn't a pony. No, I would unironically do that, but there is no other theming in this computer to justify it. So,
I mean, you could make it a purple pony.
I suppose, yeah, could have a Twilight in there. What was the? I was about to say something and then I lost track. Oh yeah, Minitown says, "What's the story with this PC?" So this is my gaming PC, and we're upgrading it. We've got a new motherboard, CPU, and RAM to go in here, which was that's the B650 motherboard and 7800 X3D CPU that we were troubleshooting last week. So I'm going to put them into my PC, and then all the stuff that's in my PC is going into the Lianli, which I will fire sell in the shop.
Given that I can't see the box just haphazardly tossed on any surfaces, does that mean you actually sent the other one off?
It's under the counter.
Ah.
Yeah, I didn't get stuff done this week. So yes, I've been going to bed way too late this week, which is annoying because I've kind of buggered my sleep schedule.
My sheep schedule.
Yes, my sheep counting schedule, but kind of sort of because I'm still getting up at the same time every morning because I've got to come into work. But I've gotten used to falling asleep at 2 a.m. So even when I'm just like, I need to go to bed early because the mornings are a struggle, when I go to bed, I'm just not getting tired at the moment. And I'm like, this is unusual. This is not normally an issue I have. And so it's just meant that this week has been really low for productivity because I stagger out of bed and drag myself into work, but I don't start becoming productive until like 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you know. I've been getting stuff done, not as much as I could have, but I have been I've been getting like one and a half done a day kind of thing. Yeah, even still, it's one of the reasons why just stuff isn't getting done because I'm kind of just ticking over at the moment. Yes, I'm going to clean that thermal paste.
Yes.
But yes. Luckily, though, I have actually got videos lined up. Yeah?
I was going to say, the only thought I had was, are you going to take the EK at AIO and put it in your computer?
No. The thought occurred to me because the EK is a better cooler than this one. However, I don't really want to because I like this cooler because it's got the cool display on it, which I like. And it's just part of the NZXT setup that I have in here, which just handles all of the RGB. And I mean, there's nothing stopping me from doing that with the EK cooler, but yeah, it's a lot of hassle to switch over, and I don't think it's going to make a meaningful difference because while this cooler isn't astonishing, but it's certainly good enough to handle the loads I'm putting at it. You know?
It was more just because of the price of them, and obviously the EK is a more expensive cooler.
Yeah, I suppose.
So it's just the fact that you'd possibly have more difficulty selling it for a reasonable amount.
Yeah, I mean, I'm effectively going to write off the cost of the EK cooler, or I will sell it at a value assuming that it didn't cost the earth, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, I originally bought it with Amazon voucher money anyway, so I won't lose money on it with whatever happens. So yeah, the thought occurred to me, but no, I'm going to keep the NZXT in here just because I like it and it's doing its job. Everyone rags on Cam, but I get on with it just fine. I've not had any major issues with Cam since I've used it. And now and then it's done something a bit. Now and then it's done a wobbly and it's nukes my profile. And I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's never been unfunctional or failed or it's never caused me so much grief that I've been like, I wish I could use something other than Cam.
Yeah. Hey, there we go. You made money off of the video.
Hey, yeah, 50 quid over the course of like 4 years or something.
Yep. There you go.
Yeah. YouTube revenue is creeping up again. I think my long drought could be coming to a close. And like I'm not I'm not saying that my curse is lifted yet, but certainly.
My curse is not lifted. I am still bereft. Please buy my merch.
Well, I have been saying, like, not in a pleading like, oh, woe is me kind of way, but just in a them's the breaks. The YouTube algorithm has sucked for me for the past like 18 months.
Yeah.
And I've made no secret about that, because that started with originally just around the same time it happened, everyone was complaining about it, where just everyone's revenue tanked, and it actually tanked a lot of channels.
Yeah.
And yeah, my revenue has been significantly down. However, it's starting to creep up again, and like views are up. The past couple of videos have performed extremely well, and like not extremely well by old number counts, but by current standards, they've done very well. Like I think the past 2 videos have hit 15,000 views, and based on current trends, hitting 15,000 views is really good. Previously, a strong video would push up to 20. That was the target, is to try and get to 20,000 views. However, right now, getting to 15,000 is pretty good, because really, like, the target was 10,000 at the moment.
Yeah.
And like I say that extremely begrudgingly, because back when the channel was performing well, 10,000 would be standard issue. That would be
every single
that's zero effort video would do 10,000 views, whereas now that's a good result. But yeah, it looks like that might be coming around again. So that's also it's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Upgrading my PC for the Starfield DLC? Nope, I'm upgrading my PC so I can see more furries in VR chat. You think I'm joking?
At least it's more by number, not more of.
Yeah.
For that, you have to go to Fansly.
Fansly? Is that like an OnlyFans equivalent or something?
Yes.
I see. All right.
Or Top Fans. Or anyway. How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you. How are you? I said that in a really leering way without meaning to.
No, not that. I remember when I went to sign our friend up for OnlyFans. Because there was a running joke about the fact that they were just like, oh, maybe I'll do it, you can't stop me.
Yeah.
And then I went to see if I could register their username.
Yeah.
And I was like, someone's already registered this. What? It was them. But it was just the fact that I was just like, no, my joke has been foiled. Damn you and your forward planning.
They called my bluff.
They called my bluff.
All right. Priorities. Absolutely, absolutely.
Priorities, yes.
Whoops, that SSD just came out attached to the heatsink. I hate it when that happens.
Imagine peeling your thermal pads.
I hate it when this happens. Easy, easy. Oh.
What SSD have you got now?
The hell? That's proper stuck on. All right. It's a 980. I've got a 980 Pro 2 terabyte, which is Windows and Steam, because I have my Steam library on my Windows drive, because obviously that's all stuff that's considered expendable. And the Steam library takes up the most space, so that because most people make their data or media drive the big one, whereas actually it makes more sense to do it the other way around and have all of your games that are using up hundreds of gigs with Windows, where it's all expendable, because you can just download that again. And then I have a 1 terabyte drive that actually has my personal data on it, which is the stuff that gets backed up. So I just don't have to back up C drive, because all of my stuff is on D drive, and D drive doesn't get clogged up with my Steam library, which I would not need to back up because I just download that again.
Yeah.
What are you giggling at?
So I don't know if you've seen the memes and so on that every now and then do the thing on X and so on about corporate life is, I've got to fill in my timesheet on Schnorgelbloff, and, my Schnaf metrics have been all warped and so on. And it's just gibberish words because of all the gibberish names that tools and so on have these days, and all the programs people use. It was an advert I saw in a shop, printed out on a piece of paper there in front of me, and I was just like, whoa. But the sentence is, spare shifts are added to Limber when they're not picked up on RotaGeek. Anyone who's part of the community can pick up those hours. And I was like, so I need to Limber my RotaGeek to get my hours for my job at a coffee shop. What? Or you could send me a text message and say, hey, can you work on Saturday? Old man shouts at cloud.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why does it need 2 different platforms?
Just Rick and Morty made jokes about this kind of thing. Rick and Morty, they had jokes where people are like, you've got to pay your 10,000 schmergels in order to get your bleebleblops. They made that joke, and you're right. The future is now, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
How about that Technology Connections? He can do a video on lampshades and get 500,000 views. He sure can, and I appreciate him for that. But also, of course, scale, basically. Scale is a thing. All things considered, in the grand scheme of YouTube, I am small scale. Though that much being said, also just subscriptions are picking up again now as well, as in subscriber count. I haven't been keeping an eagle eye on it, but we actually finally broke 180,000 because I was at like 175-ish thousand for like a month. Well, sorry, a month, for like a year. For ages, we were just sitting in the high 175,000s and just not budging, and there was just zero growth. Whereas it actually hit the 180k, and I'm like, oh, how about that? Maybe I will get to 200,000 kind of thing. Maybe. So I feel like that's actually a possibility now, which is also like, that's not something I need. This stuff doesn't drive me forward. But when you see that the numbers are actually starting to go up again, you're like, oh, nice, growth is happening. I'm doing the right thing. It's a good indicator that just keep doing what you're doing, and it will keep happening. It's not. Whereas when everything has completely ground to a full stop, you start saying, what am I doing wrong? What else could I be doing? How do we solve this? How do we start moving forward again?
Yeah.
So yeah. What were you going to?
The folder here, I have a MacOS question.
Okay.
The folder here that is called the username of my account, Garador Brody.
Your home folder, yeah.
Yes, which is the Shift Clover H folder, as in the shortcut there.
It's called Command, yeah.
And it's a cloverleaf.
Sure.
I'm sorry, you seem you'd seem rustled. There you go. That's the word I wanted by it, and I was just like, good.
I'm just like, you can call it whatever the fuck you want. It's called Command. It says Command on the key. That's what that symbol is called. It's called Command.
Yeah, that folder is the folder that contains the downloads folder, the documents folder,
Yeah.
etc.
Your home folder. Yeah.
Yes. Why do I need to go straight into that by default on the drop-down menu of where do you want to save this file from a browser?
Well, that's just the default, because whenever you're saving a file, you're probably going to put it somewhere in your home folders. So that's where it kicks you off from.
It just seems weird that it wouldn't go to the downloads folder when a downloads folder already exists.
I see what you mean. That might be set in preference somewhere. Where are you saving from?
I'm exporting
You're in
from
preview.
Photos
Yeah.
for a file that's already in the downloads folder.
Yeah. So, well, you're in the preview app. So the preview is just a universal file opener. You could be looking at a PDF right now in preview. So it's dropping you into your home.
I meant to say I was looking at a photo.
Yeah. However, you're in preview, and the same app preview can also be looking at a PDF. Which would be a document. So it has no context for what type of file you're looking at. So it puts you in the home folder, so you can decide where you want to put it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Because because this program handles multiple different types of file and contexts of file. So the chances are it'll save whatever you select and it will take you there next time. But yeah, for the context of preview, which could be dealing with multiple different kinds of files, home folder makes more sense. So yeah.
Yes.
Also,
good news. WebP seems to be fully supported on whatever the latest version of macOS is, so we can possibly finally actually move to it.
Yes, I think it was before. Yeah, I thought it'd been there for a while. I might be wrong.
But at the very least, statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
WebP seems to be becoming less of a ball ache to deal with now, at any rate.
Yeah.
So yeah, because a lot of people hate it just because there's just no native support for it anywhere.
Yeah.
Despite it being just a good format. But yeah. Let's see. Pre-revenue said, have you rechecked analytics since being featured on LTT? I stopped bothering to check, but within the first 3 days or so, I hadn't seen any noticeable impact. So I'm going to say no. And I'm saying this having just said that my numbers are ticking up slightly, but that is a trend, not a blip. Something like being featured on a high-profile channel would cause a blip. So, but yeah, I think just the algorithm is starting to favour me, because also I'm seeing a pickup in views and comments on old videos as well. People are watching the back catalogue, and that is also a hint that the algorithm is pushing the channel, because those kinds of views come from old videos appearing in recommended, not from people browsing the back catalogue. Because no one browses that. The only people who browse your back catalogue are people who are binge watching your channel. And that's just not a high percentage of people.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
The between video views appear to be up by about 1,000 for last week compared to beginning September.
Yeah. So I think that's where it's coming from. I mean,
which is good.
And again, I don't think that's the LTT feature, because I think we would have seen an actual spike or a hump or something like that. I don't think that would show a trend, because also you can see it's actually been trending upwards as well since before the LTT feature. I say feature, it was a few frames of being in a video,
Yeah, you're also, somewhere between 200 and 400 higher for the week before the LTT appearance.
Yes.
As well. So
yeah, this is just a general This is a general trend upwards, which is good. It's the best kind of trend because it means the algorithm is looking at you. And you want the algorithm to be looking at you because that's the thing you can't control. You have zero control over the algorithm. So that's the one that you want to get because that's the one that you have the least control over.
Ah, yes, the LG Graham with no power.
Yeah. Lean in and just grab this out. All right.
Whilst you say not
a shot of both. Yeah.
Whilst we keep riffing on you for you saying not a Mac repair channel,
I'm still fixing a lot of Macs. Yeah.
You might be fixing a lot of Macs, but your 8 best performing videos, only one of them's a Mac video.
Oh, neat. Yeah. Yeah. There's a good variety coming out at the moment.
Yeah.
I've got another board repair. It's another classic dead capacitor one, but whatever. That's what people love it. I've got another just dead capacitor board repair video in the pipeline. However, I'm thinking of deliberately delaying it and putting out a simple assembly video between, because I've just done a board repair video, so I'm thinking of just offsetting it. But yeah, which one's that
That's
one?
the No Post on Sunday way with the power supply.
Yeah, like
That's actually doing numbers.
yeah,
It's
like
actually doing reasonable numbers.
I don't know I don't know how happy I am about that, because it's
You're
nice.
happy because it's doing numbers.
Yeah, it's nice to see a video that is performing above expected, but also like that was a low effort No Post on Sunday that was just a dead power supply. Like the reason why No Post on Sundays exists is that's the kind of video that I would throw out because I think it's boring. And I think because the moment we turned it on, it was just like, this is probably a dead power supply. Oh look, it's a dead power supply. Put a new power supply in, it's fixed. I don't think that's an interesting repair, but but then also I have to get over the fact that people will tune in to watch me watch paint dry if that scans. People are tuning in for the show. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. They just want to see me doing stuff.
And also the fact of you did spend 14 minutes in the video going through, this isn't shorted, that isn't shorted, this is how I checked this is why I'm looking at this.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's a lot of information and explainer in there that isn't anything to do with the computer that's on the bench.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
All computers that are on the bench with a quarter fan spin.
Yeah, that's what I try and do now, because again, in this video that I was talking about where it's another dead capacitor, I haven't recorded it in there, but I've kept in the back of my mind in the edit I'm going to do additional pause and voiceover sections where I discuss more, because in the video I did also explain my approach. Even though it was an easy one, I talk a lot about how to approach it and what else it could be and considerations that we have to think about, because it's one of those ones where it would have been extremely easy to just stab it with 1 volt 3 amps and watch the capacitor go nuclear and be like, haha, look how clever I am, I'm Northridge Fix.
Woo! Jesus!
However, again, we go in and we talk about how to approach the problem and considerations and things we need to be careful of, and that kind of thing. And I think that's where the value is, So yeah. Did I see Paul Daniels' video on insect to liquid damage? I haven't watched that one yet, but I've been meaning to, because Paul's been putting out bangers lately and I need to catch up on them. I did see Paul's recent video of the microwaved MacBook, and that was just, oh man, that was just like, what's the term for what's the term for morbid curiosity, where you're tuning in to watch something just so you can go, oh, it's terrible, but like you take pleasure in it, kind of thing.
If you're looking for Schadenfreude,
I guess, yeah.
It's not that.
Okay.
Because that's taking pleasure in other people's misfortune.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
Yes, I don't know what you're specifically looking for.
Don't know. Anyway, I guess it was just tech gore. Yeah, rubbernecking, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, someone also mentioned subscriber-only chats, and I just want to put in my 2 pence on that because I think it's interesting. I agree. I'm not a fan of subscriber-only chat either. I think if you actually have a problem with troublemakers and bots and things like that, it can be a valid way of just filtering your channel to people who actually want to be there, instead of just casuals who are just walking by and aren't actually interested in contributing. However, certainly, for most channels, I just don't think that's a problem we currently have. Like, that's not a problem I experience on either Twitch or on YouTube here. Like, we never have to do moderation here. Like, once in a blue moon, I mean, we haven't even had any of the porn bots for a hot minute, Like, we used to have porn bots fairly regularly here. And again, obviously subscriber-only chat filters those out if it's really a problem. But the porn bots weren't an issue. We only needed one moderator in chat just to shoot those on site.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. I feel like it's a backhanded attempt to pad numbers, which may or may not be the intention, but that's the way it can come across to people as. So I don't agree with it, but you do you, boo, you know. So yes, please no ambient music in videos, especially in random places. I do that sometimes just because there are some sections where there's going to be 60 seconds of just fast forward. And yeah, I think it's weird just to have complete dead silence during that section. And I find a little bit of music can add a little bit of tone or atmosphere to the video. So personally, I like it, but I use it sparingly. So yeah, that's my opinion there. And I'm not shilling crap from China either. Yeah, I have opinions on that, and we both know who we're talking about, but I've already made one extremely inflammatory backhanded comment this stream, so I'm going to carry on working on my PC. No, it wasn't backhanded. It was actually pretty direct. Woo! Anyway,
so how much of that cider have you drunk?
So I've got a B650 motherboard here with a 7800X3D in it. I really shouldn't be picking fights on YouTube, so I'm going to put this in my PC now.
Any comments are engagement. Are you putting the correct motherboard in the computer?
No, I'm just turning them on their back just to do a comparison super quick.
Okay.
I just want to look as well for comparison because so this motherboard that's coming out, this is an Asus X570 Crosshair Hero, and it's a really, really nice X570 motherboard, like really good balance between expense and feature set, and it makes me very sad to say goodbye to this motherboard because it's a lovely board. However, I just want to do some comparisons just to see if I'm actually losing anything, because I'm going from a high-end X570 to a mid-range B650. And like the B650, there's nothing wrong with that chipset, but you know, that's the mid-range chipset. It's not the X670, you know. But also I just want to have a look and be like, okay, so there's a bunch of USB 2 ports, whereas this one is all USB 3, but this is fine because I don't need all USB 3. We've still got 2 banks of 4. We've got the same number of USB ports, just a bunch of them are USB 2 ports instead of 3. And that's okay with me. I'm a little bit sad that
I thought these were USB 2 ports.
No.
They looked black on the preview.
Oh,
so
I see,
was
yeah.
confused.
Nope. Yeah, these are all 10 gig, 5 gig, 10 gig. So like, whereas down here, yeah. So we've got the same number of USB ports, they're just a bit slower, but that's fine because like half of the USB is plugged into my computer. It's like mouse, keyboard, microphone. These things don't need to be USB 3, you know. So that's a non-issue. I'm sad that I still only have one Type-C port at the back. I really think 2 Type-C ports should be standard now. I would trade that 3.2 for another Type-C any day of the week.
Yeah, that's what the X870 and X870 boards are fixing, because they're minimum dual Type-C.
Yeah, I do get 2.5 gig, which is nice. I also get Wi-Fi, which is nice, and like I don't need the Wi-Fi, but I have uses for it, and it'll have built-in Bluetooth, which is a nice to have. And also, I'm losing a bunch of audio out. I lose my optical output, which I do use, so I'm going to have to change my speaker connections. And like I don't even have surround output, which is a bit sad. So I'm only going to get stereo output. However, I use stereo times 2 anyway, so I'm not going to lose functionality. But it's just kind of this board actually has kind of crap sound output. So that's a bit of a bummer. But it's not something I super care about. So just interesting observations of what we get and what we lose, I think. So yeah, right, I'm going to put this board over here. It looks like there's HDMI. Yeah, I do have onboard video, which is, obviously I don't care about that from a gaming perspective, but that's nice for troubleshooting and such. So yeah.
That is not that board. What are you?
I'm so sorry.
Oh.
7800X3D, hell yeah, just updated one of those. Tasty, tasty. Let's see. The MSI Edge Wi-Fi has more USB 3, only 2 USB 2s. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Like I say, we're kind of in the day and age where I'm just like, can we just stop with USB 2? However, in the real world, though, it doesn't really matter because no one actually has 8 USB 3 devices that they're plugging in, you know.
See, I'd rather have 4 USB Type 2s than one more Type 3.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. And I realised the necessity of them being USB 2 ports. However, at the same time, I'm just like, considering the amount of PCI Express bandwidth we have on modern motherboards, I don't understand what... Well, no, I do understand why.
Because we keep adding M.2s.
Yeah. At face value, I don't understand why in the year of PCI Express 5, why do we not have enough bandwidth to just USB 3 the entire rear I/O? But the reason for that is, as Caradog just said, there's like another 2 M.2 slots underneath this heatsink. And the other reason is that routing all the USB 3 channels from here up to here is actually a colossal ball ache. And that's the other reason why they don't do it on the mid-range boards. It's more expense. Right, let's filter this guy in. Also, just out of interest, what's the stream timer up to?
The stream timer is on 1 hour 6 minutes.
Okay, I got 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're
And
okay.
by that you mean 22 minutes.
Oh, sure. If you want to be pedantic.
The thing you are getting by swapping to that board
Yeah.
is you're getting a 20 gigabit Type-C port as opposed to a 10 gigabit Type-C port.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice to have. Oh, that's what's holding me up.
Because this board has no 20 gigabit USB at all.
Yeah.
Which is wild because it's X570 with a Type-C and it's only a 10 gigabit Type-C.
Yeah, and it's a Crosshair 7 as well. Oh, sorry, Crosshair 8. You know, it's just like I can understand the Strix not having 20 gigabit. Or but like that's the Crosshair. You know, why the hell didn't that have 20 gigabit? I don't need 20 gigabit, but this is what you're paying for with the Crosshair.
Yeah.
You know, and like the Crosshair Hero, this is the diet Crosshair. This isn't the full fat Crosshair like your one.
The Extreme.
Yeah, the Extreme. But still, you know, that motherboard was probably, I think that motherboard was 350, maybe 400 quid when it was new.
Yeah.
And it seems kind of
imagine it was
wild
a
that
lot.
it's kind of wild that they didn't have it.
Did you
In a
buy
rush
it?
today? Not so much in a rush. It's more of a running joke, Reploid, because I notoriously take a really long time to do very simple jobs on the podcast. So...
Yes.
And no, I did not buy it. It came into the shop as a... it actually came into the shop as a spares repairs because it had bent pins in the PCI Express slot.
Yeah.
However, I'm confident in selling it because having swapped out the graphics card multiple times on that, it's never been an issue since I straightened out those pins. So, yeah. What
I
are you
like
giggling
how
at?
you said, oh yeah, it was a £300 motherboard when new.
Oh, okay, was it like 600?
More.
No.
800.
For the Hero? Are you sure?
The only price that's on PC Part Picker from 2 years ago is £800 from Scan.
Oh, yeah, 2 years ago isn't period. Oh, no, it was
2
period.
years
wasn't
ago,
it?
yeah.
Yeah. I thought the Extreme costs 800.
Yeah, it did, which is why I'm like, what? I feel like this got really bad, like, price history on there, just because there's only one seller over its life.
Yeah.
Or it had a really short run, because there's also the Hero Dark and the Hero Wi-Fi. So
Yeah.
this one might have only actually existed for like 2 months.
Yeah, because also it's kind of weird that it doesn't have Wi-Fi, that one. You know, like that's been one of my, not my grievances, because I don't need Wi-Fi, it's just nice to have. Like, having Wi-Fi is really handy when you're at a LAN party because you can hotspot off your phone easily. And having Wi-Fi is also really nice because it also means you get built-in Bluetooth, which again is also just nice to have. If you're wondering what I was talking about, it's nice to have Wi-Fi at a LAN party because...
No, sorry. I was trying to understand what Donald had said.
Yeah.
and I was being really slow at processing words and numbers
Ah, right, yes.
and trying to work out what had been said compared to what I'd said.
Yes.
But no, I have the X570 Crosshair 8 Extreme.
Yeah.
Is that what that box says over there?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, it's the extreme version of this board.
Yeah, I have the X570 version.
Yeah, that's the hero. The extreme is the next tier up that has everything on it.
The thing I like most about it, not that I've ever used it, is the fact that it's got the 10 gigabit Nikon inbuilt, the fact that it's got U.2 ports built in, the fact that it's got Thunderbolt built in. So if you're actually building workstations, you just buy motherboard, done.
Yeah, it's a cool board because it has it has exotic features built into it that you would normally need add-in cards for. I don't think it's good bang for buck, but also just people want Halo products, so Asus will, it's a Halo motherboard.
It was not awful. It was not awful value when it came out, because when it came out, 10 gig NICs were expensive.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
You could not get you couldn't get U.2 to PCIe very easily.
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that. So it was just a case of when it came out.
It made a lot more sense.
Because it was the first X570 range.
Yeah.
So yeah, it had lots of those stuff. And like Thunderbolt on AMD is very difficult. The only people who do it are Asus, really, and 1 or 2 gigabyte boards from what I've seen. But yeah.
Oh, that needs some massaging. I hate the USB 3.0 front port header so much. Such an awful, awful header and cable. There we go.
Yeah.
At least most of this is just drop-in.
Have there been any... This will be a question for, I'm sure, like 2 people in chat who even know what this is. Have there been any consumer motherboards that have like mini Cool Edge connectors and things like that on them?
What the hell is a Cool Edge?
It's the only one of 2 connectors that is actually ratified for PCIe 4, Gen 4 speeds, with a actual plug-in connector on it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, those have popped up on LTT a couple of times on some of their more exotic stuff. Yeah.
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 So yeah, those are the only. But
surely that would be like server and obscure workstation board only. Yeah.
Absolutely, but it's just a case of, because obviously Asus put U.2 on the Extreme Crosshair doodad. What's it? I was just wondering if they'd done something similar on their what do they call it? Not ProArt, the other one. No, it is ProArt.
Yeah.
Yeah, on their ProArt board.
10 gig Ethernet on board seems to have disappeared. Yeah, I think it got dropped just because no one really needed it. The vast majority of people, 2.5 gig was more than enough.
The reason it started appearing was because your option was 1 gig, 10 gig.
Oh,
nothing else exists.
There was no 2.5. Yeah.
There was no 2.5. There was no 5.
Yeah.
2.5 and 5.
Oh, I didn't know 5 was
technically doesn't exist in standard.
Yeah.
And they updated. They back updated, backported 2.5 into the standard that brought in 10, because people just weren't.
Yeah.
Because 10 was so expensive. Yes. If I have a look, where is Nick?
I hate ARGB more, says Pre-Revenue. The Fat Controller laughed. You are wrong.
No, they're pretty right.
Oculink. Is Oculink and Cool Edge the same thing under different brand names? Okay.
No.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the wrong one then.
Oculink is
Oh,
only
yeah.
ratified for PCIe Gen 3.
Yeah, also Oculink, that's specifically a like a video card connector kind of thing.
It's just PCI Express.
Oh, it's just PCI Express. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. However, yeah, that's not the one I'm thinking of, no. Let's see. Will you also start buying broken high-end boards for cheap and repair it like LTT? I have not seen that video from LTT yet. However, I'm inclined to say no, just because a lot of them likely have just rabbit hole issues. Like, a lot of people have said to me over the years, oh, why don't you do ATX motherboard repair? You can do lots of laptop repairs. Most of the laptop repairs I do are power issues, which are very easy to diagnose and look at. Whereas desktop motherboards, there's not a lot of power conversion being done on a desktop motherboard. It's all done in the power supply. And so on desktop motherboards, the faults on those are usually far more complicated. I need to have a look at this LTT video to see if what motherboards they fixed, because I'm willing to bet that they got... I'm going to take a stab in the dark, having not watched the video, but yeah, I'm willing to bet that they got lucky / cherry-picked / both. Which is not to say that I've never gotten lucky, nor have I cherry-picked, because I do both of these things. Like the video that I've been talking about that's in the pipeline, I literally opened the video with a gag saying, let's cherry pick easy fixes off the shelf for a video. I mean, let's fix computers, smash cut to intro, you know.
Yeah.
However, the fact remains is that ATX motherboards are rabbit holes to fix. And also, even if you do fix them, like high-end ATX motherboards are nice, but I don't really care about them. Like, this motherboard is mid-range. I like this board. This is the kind of motherboard that I would buy, which is why I did buy it. The Crosshair, I would never ever have bought this motherboard. The only reason why I own it is because it fell into my lap with mangled pins in the PCI Express port, which I was able to fix. That's a lucky fix. You know, you're not going to get that lucky very often. Most of the ones on eBay are going to have... But then... I don't know, there's quite a few problems that I could fix, you know, mangled BIOSes, things like that. These are things that I can approach.
I think also
but you don't know. It's a crapshoot.
I think the other issue as well that put you off is just the fact of it seemed like there was a small flurry of boards being posted on eBay UK where they were dead boards, and then someone mashed a couple of pins in the socket and then sold it saying, oh no, there's some socket damage.
Yeah, and
I'm sure someone might be able to fix this.
Yeah, like that's me with my tinfoil hat on.
But it was just the fact of there seemed to be quite a few of those from people who were doing ATX board repair.
Yeah, like any board on eBay that has broken pins in the CPU socket, I think has a very high likelihood of being a trap. But also, like, there's going to be people out there that just mangled the pins in their socket, can't fix it, so they're just selling it as spares repairs. Maybe it is just that simple, you know, and there's plenty of those that I could quite easily fix.
Yeah.
Oh, Linus only fixed bent pins. Okay, yeah, there we go.
I think the other comment, just talking about Oculink, Mini Cool Edge, etc., 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 is I was trying to look at what Oculink was rated for, and technically the Oculink connector, the internal connector, which is the only one that I've seen on any devices, is actually only rated for 50 insertions.
Cool. Apparently I own a 2TB SN770.
Yes.
I was expecting it to be a 1TB, but yeah, apparently I put a 2 in this. Cool. I could do with some extra storage.
Have you got a third M.2?
Yeah. Chat, should I keep this or sell it? Convince me to make a bad decision. Right, I'm putting the 980 Pro in this slot at the very least.
Yeah.
Right. Keep it, says Pre-Revenue. You're a bad influence.
I have 32 gigs of RAM, and on Amazon they're selling 32 gigs of RAM for 40 quid, so I now have 64 gig. Do you think I wasted 40 quid? Probably. Because I can't see why you'd need 64 gig.
Yeah. What was it, DDR4 or DDR5?
Based on the price, 40 quid for 32 gigs is probably going to be DDR4.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like, unless you actually need 64 gigs, which you probably don't, but I don't know you, kind of thing. You know, like, you don't need more than 32 gigs of RAM unless you're doing serious workstation stuff. And investing heavily in DDR4 is just not a smart move at the moment. But also it's only 40 quid, so fine. You know, yeah. I don't think that was probably unnecessary, and I think maybe you got lulled into a incentive to buy because DDR4 is really cheap right now. You probably didn't need it, but hey, it's 40 quid. It's not like you just dropped 200 quid on a 2-module DDR4 kit for a brand new build going, I need 64 gigs of RAM for my Ryzen 5600X build. No, you don't. You know, you just wasted £200. 40 quid's not a lot of money to drop on some extra memory. So, you know, did you need it? Probably not. Is it a waste of money? Well, you know, whatever. That's a couple of takeaways. So, you know, if you're actually burning through memory, sure, yeah. I'm not convinced you needed it. However, I don't think that's an egregious waste of money, is what I'm trying to say. I've seen people drop more money on more frivolous things that have made me be like, you wasted your money. That's a stupid move.
Yeah.
I ain't your dad, but I wouldn't have done that. You know. But yeah, 64 gigs of DDR4. It's DDR4. It's quote unquote obsolete, but 40 quid, sure. You know, I don't think that's I don't think that's an egregious waste of money. I understand my response sounds extremely diplomatic, but like I mean that genuinely. I'm kind of neutral on that, you know.
Because
like, sure.
yeah, because it was so cheap.
Yeah, that's it. That's
and
not a huge...
And only because it was so cheap.
If you turned around and said, "Oh, I've just spent 100 quid on like DDR4 4200 gold encrusted Trident Z Royale kind of thing," and I'd have been like, "That's a stupid RAM kit for stupid people." Not implying anything about you, but however. But yeah, 40 quid for some extra RAM, sure. Yeah. Probably didn't need it, but nice to have? Yeah, sure. You know, I'd be lying if I said I didn't have certain things in this computer for bragging rights. Although that much being said, I'm kind of taking those out. Like, the Crosshair was bragging rights, but also I didn't buy that, so...
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I'm going to stick this down because I've just thermal pasted it. Then, right, the SSD. Right, let me think. I need more storage in this, but upgrading this 1 terabyte drive to a 2 terabyte drive doesn't solve my problem.
Why not?
Although actually it could. Yeah, no, it does solve my problem. Yeah. I will put it in there, yeah. Because, yeah, basically, because, well, I'm not in the red, but both of my drives are like, you know, 70% full kind of thing. I'm using a lot of the storage in this PC. And I have to make sure that I delete things that I don't need. And however, if I moved my videos folder is on C drive. I don't back up works in progress, basically. However, if I moved videos to D drive, and that was a 2 terabyte drive, A, they would be backed up, which is probably a good thing, and B, I would have enough storage to do that, so yes.
Huh.
And also, I'm dropping the spec on the Lian Li, so putting a 1 terabyte drive in it is fine. Nothing to write home about, but it's fine. Okay.
Interesting. Looks
Yes.
like 4 terabyte SSDs are basically the least expensive they've been for a long time.
Interesting. What's the going rate for a 4 terabyte SSD?
Crucial P3 4 terabytes, 199.
Yeah, that's about what I'd expect, to be honest.
Yeah, it's only a few quid less, but it's gone down from 210. So we are slowly seeing the 4 terabyte drives have a few pounds shaved off here and there.
Certainly that is under £200, which is nice. Whereas when they're over £200, that looks like a lot. Whereas now saying that 4 terabytes is sub 200 is kind of tasty.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Kingston MV2 4 terabyte was down to 185.
Yeah.
So it's slowly trending down there.
Yeah. Let's see. All right, keeping. 128 gigs of RAM and an ARC A770. Hey, maybe you're just doing a lot of video encoding or something. I don't know. I may have to get a 4 terabyte drive. Only 309 gigabytes free. It depends on what direction you're going in. If you're adding a lot of data to that drive every week, then you're going to go through it all. But also, though, it's only going to get cheaper, broadly speaking. So
yeah,
it's
the other reason why I just have, as well, a 18 terabyte hard drive.
Yeah, I don't need that much storage.
Just because for £200 I put 18 terabytes of storage.
Yeah, understandable, but I just wouldn't use that.
Yeah, it was more of a fact of I could buy a 4 terabyte SSD or two terabyte SSDs, or I could buy 18 terabytes of storage for the same amount of money and never need more.
You're archiving video because
half and half, but it's also just a fact of now I have gobs of space.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a case of if there's anything where I need to be I need to copy this 2 terabyte SSD somewhere.
The only time when that would be useful for me is my archive drive. There's a 2 terabyte MX500 in the back of this PC.
Yeah.
And that is the Adamant IT video archive. Every video that I have ever uploaded to YouTube is saved on that drive. That is the YouTube backup. So if my channel got nuked, I could just re-upload everything.
You could just tell everyone to go to library.
Sure.
You're still there.
Because
still
it costs...
got all your videos.
And I'm sure there's a dozen people... Well, I'm sure there's 2 people that watch them there. However, that 2 terabyte archive drive is nearly full and needs to be upgraded. So that's something that I would change at some point. But yeah, that's a drive that would be useful to make 18 terabytes because the archive drive doesn't need to be performant. The only reason why it's an SSD at all is just because I wanted to remove all spinning rust out of this computer. But that's a consideration. Why haven't 8 terabyte drives come down? Presumably 8 terabyte, presumably high capacity NAND chips are still difficult to manufacture. Most likely to actually make a cheap 8 terabyte drive, they need a new manufacturing process for the NAND chips that will make that particular capacity chip cheaper to make. They'd probably have to use some kind of exotic process to get to 8 terabyte capacities, which is why they're still expensive. And this will apply to low profile SSDs as well. If you look at the Shortboy the Shortboy SSDs, you can get 40mm 2 terabyte SSDs now, but I would imagine that they're ludicrously expensive because they have to use the really expensive exotic NAND chips on them to get to that capacity. That's my guess, having not looked at anything. Turnip Gaming, thank you for the $5. How's it going? Speaking of high speed, I was completely shocked at how bad that HDMI port was on that PS5. Oh, yeah, for reals. Looks like they use a gas blowtorch and hideous flush. We'll never know. A lot of people, most people, well, the vibe in the comments on that one is that it wasn't a shop, it was the customer that tried to fix it. And I don't know. So the original customer that brought it in was a lady, and it would not have been her profiling, you know. However, she had given the PS5 to a relative who had apparently taken it to a shop to try and fix. Hence where the other shop story came from. However, the person who actually collected the PS5 looks like it might have been that other relative, and they looked like they might have been a tradesman. Maybe someone who might have plumber's tools. I'm not saying it was them. I don't know. I didn't ask, because the problem is that as soon as you start prying for that kind of information, you're basically just trying to goad that customer into confessing their sins, and like, that's not really a polite thing to do. That's not really a corner you want to force your customer into. So just like, that's not a question that needs an answer. But just saying, maybe it was them, you know. So that's what the comments thought. Maybe, I don't know. It could have been. That's about all I can really say about that. I don't know. I don't really care. Neither would surprise me. I would love to know the answer, because if it was a shop, I'd love to know who it was, because I think I said to someone or somewhere at some point, I want to know who it was, not so I can shame them, but just so I can get an understanding as to who's out there. Because like, if it had been some back alley kiosk, I could understand that a back alley kiosk got in over their head. Sure, fine. But like, if they'd said it was this shop and I'd look them up and see that they're a fairly large outfit with a team of staff, and they had done this, I'd be like, okay, they shouldn't have gone done that. They should have known better. Now I know that they're not a place you want to take your thing for repair, you know. So that's why I would like to know that information. But unfortunately, sometimes it's difficult to. You can only press the customer for so much information before you're just prying.
Yeah.
And that's not something I really want to do. But yeah, it wasn't that much of a difficult job. A console specialist would be like, you changed a HDMI port and you had to replace the passives. You know, that's all that was really to that. It wasn't that difficult to tidy up. It just looked really bad. But it was a very good spectacle, because it was also a demonstration on why plumber's flux is a big no-no. You know, because, you know, lots of people always say, oh, never use plumber's flux on a circuit board. You must never use that. And people are like, why not? Like, what's the problem with it? And they go, you just shouldn't. It's bad, you know. Well, that's why you don't use plumber's flux, because it eats everything. And like, I didn't point it out on the video, but you can actually look at the moment when I take the tin shield off and I flip it over, you can see a massive patch of just acidic corrosion on the metal plate, where the plumber's flux, the fumes from the plumber's flux have just eaten into the metal. And of course, the board itself was just permanently stained. So yeah, fascinating.
In answer to what we said about, don't worry, you can always go to Library. Don't forget Library rebranded to Odyssey.
Yeah, Odyssey has been a thing for a while, but yeah.
But you have 28 views on your PS5 video on Odyssey.
Yeah, people are still watching it. Yeah.
So there's at least someone.
There are dozens of them.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Odyssey is... I'm surprised they're still alive. I don't know. I can't remember what legal status they're in now, but yeah. Yeah, no idea. Like, I was never a champion of Odyssey from day dot. The only reason why I set it up is because it automatically scrapes your YouTube uploads. So once you do the initial setup, it is zero effort to be there. I don't manually upload to Odyssey. Odyssey scrapes the YouTube upload. So yeah, it's zero effort to be there. Why not upload all videos to Twitch for backup? Because Twitch does not back up your videos. Twitch deletes VODs after 2 months. And it does save highlight reels, but you cannot use it for video storage in that manner.
There is not a... That's not a good advertisement for your platform.
Oh, right.
Odyssey homepage.
Yeah.
Featured, trending.
Yeah.
The only thing that's on there
Yeah.
is something with 0 viewers.
Oh,
A live stream with 0 viewers, and there's nothing else on there.
wow. Yeah, that's dead, isn't it? What's the vibe there? So let's see. We've got tinfoil hats. We've got
Music.
that's music. Yeah, that one looks not terrible. We've got some more coding stuff. That's
Linux.
fine.
Of
Yeah.
course, Linux people are here.
Yeah. We've got, quote, when it's your first day working for P. Diddy. I'm sure that's going to be pretty tame. And then we've got what looks like some incel stuff. So, yeah. Yeah, this was the problem from the beginning with Odyssey. Their front page was just tinfoil hat, right wing, tinfoil hat, banned from YouTube, and this is where I ended up, you know.
A video from someone titled "I ruined my perfect life."
Yeah, I think this was the reason why I never leaned into Odyssey as well, because ultimately anyone who had any interest in Odyssey is basically just on Rumble now, because that was the problem. The people who were using Odyssey were tinfoil hats, right wingers, and banned from YouTube, and they all ended up on Rumble. So.
When liberals do what the TV says.
Woo! Yeah. What is Odyssey? So Odyssey was a YouTube alternative, and it was blockchain powered would be a strong word, but it had a blockchain economy where you could tip people in cryptocurrency. And it cost money. You would pay crypto to upload, and you would pay crypto in tips to people. And that economy worked. If you like crypto, that was functional. And at one point, I had about $300 worth of library coin, but I sat on it just to see what would happen, because $300 wasn't enough for me to consider cashing out to be worthwhile. And then library fell foul of the FTC for some reason or other, and now that coin is worthless. So I should have cashed out. However, I don't think anyone actually gives a crap about Odyssey now, because they didn't win, basically. So yeah. Right, I think everything in here... Oh, HD audio. All right. Do you guys like SpongeBob? I've never watched an episode of SpongeBob. I should do at some point, because there are some good episodes of it. But yeah.
I love some of the titles on here. The creator of Linux is still excited.
Okay. Mythologizing Linus Torvalds. Sure.
Make your Linux terminal look amazing.
Yeah. Rumble and Kick are shocking sites. Yeah.
Partnership with Arch Linux.
When you get banned from the mainstream sites, Rumble and Kick is where you end up. And, I'll probably take some heat for saying that Rumble and Kick are where you end up when you're a right-wing fascist or you got banned from the mainstream channels. But I'm going to say that I'm going to say that with a straight face, because tell me I'm wrong.
I Google search Rumble, and the third result is Andrew Tate.
Tell me I'm wrong. All right. Don't give them views. Don't hate watch them. Yeah. All right.
Go ad free with Rumble Premium. Oh God.
Where is that audio coming from? Is it coming from the laptop? Oh, it's coming from your phone.
Yeah.
I was really confused, because I was like, I thought you were playing it on the laptop, but the audio was coming from back here somewhere. I'm like, what are the speakers in that laptop? All right.
God. Oh no.
Okay, right. Let's not talk about nonsense websites, because
Borderlands 3. There we go. That's watchable content.
Yeah. So someone said, right, someone had a legitimate question. So where could you store your videos for free? Honestly, nowhere. Like,
For free?
yeah,
Nowhere.
yeah. Because like YouTube, on the assumption that you're discounting these nonsense websites like Rumble and Kick and stuff like that, come at me, Kick and Rumble fanboys, I don't care.
Give me engagement in the comments.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. YouTube is basically your only option, but of course YouTube can't be your only source. Again, all of my videos are uploaded to YouTube, but you're damn right I've got a local copy of those because Google is a fickle bitch and might ban me at some point for some arbitrary reason, and then what would I do? So yeah, I've got a local download. So the answer to that is I don't think there's anywhere else you could store them for free. But also videos don't take up that much space. If you do an X265 handbrake encode or even an AV1 handbrake encode on all of your videos, you can store a shocking number of hours of video on a 2 terabyte SSD that cost you 100 quid. You know, like again, like I said, the entire Adamant IT back catalogue is on a 2 terabyte drive in this computer. Now, sure, that's just the exports. I don't have enough storage for the raw footage, but still, you know, it's arguably a non-issue. Oh, in you go. So, yeah. But you're not going to be able to store them online for free. But also cloud storage is cheap. Like, what's 2 terabytes worth of Google Drive these days?
80 quid a year?
Yeah. So that 80 quid a year is what, £7 a month or something?
Yeah. But if you wanted to store it, you just put it on a hard drive because an 8 terabyte hard drive is like 120 quid.
Yeah, I don't think you'd store it online, I guess is what we're saying here. If you've got like a large catalogue that you're trying to store, you'd put it on a hard drive somewhere.
Yeah, because it's like 120 quid for an 8 terabyte drive.
Yeah.
Or if you go to AliExpress, you can get like 16 terabyte drives for like 190 quid.
Yeah, and like because it's a backup, it doesn't really matter if the drive is tapped because it's the second copy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't even need to be a high-speed drive.
No, it would just be your second tier of backup because you'd buy, you know, I guess you'd buy local market, known store front for your first backup, and then insert unnamed brand store here. Dedusting
the GPU, good shout, not really worth it. There's not a huge amount of dust on it, if I'm honest. This computer's in pretty good condition. I'm going to go and blow out the dust filters while I'm here, but this computer gets a basic wipe down reasonably frequently, so there is some dust in here, but I'd have to get a meaningful change on this, I'd have to detail it, and that's an all-day job.
Oh yeah, that's not bad. There you go. Seagate 18 terabyte Exos for 205.
Sure. Yeah.
So,
that's going to be a bit more after import tax and stuff like that, but
yeah, it's
principally.
about
Yeah.
But it's just a case of That's
how's the
about what
D-grammer going? I'm cozy. Yeah, I'm cozy and
Drink up. You've still got half a bottle.
Yeah,
Come on.
I'm cozy and I'm picking fights on a YouTube stream. I'm picking fights on a YouTube stream where the audience is heavily on my side. That's how bold I'm feeling. You store in H.264, or AV1? I store in H.265 at the moment.
Something echo chamber.
Yeah. Hey, I don't care. Yeah. I don't care because I don't need to go outside that echo chamber, and I don't care to either. I'm right, and everything that happens outside my echo chamber doesn't affect me. We just making sure that that's still visible. Thankfully, I have a YouTube channel and an audience, and that means my opinion is worth more. The D-grammer is going well, is what I'm saying. Odyssey in free is a great backup to YouTube. No brainer, autosync from YouTube. This is true. It's not original quality, though. Keep that in mind. Like, I think the Odyssey uploads are 720p, and they are noticeably less good a quality from YouTube. The YouTube 1080p original upload is noticeably better quality than the Odyssey. However,
Even that, YouTube's not that great either.
Yeah, YouTube butchers the quality as it is. Well, in some of the recent ones, it's been not too bad, but sometimes it's more noticeable than others. But yeah. But what was I going to say? Yeah, Odyssey's good in a pinch, though. You know, like, I haven't switched off Odyssey. Let me put it that way.
Yes.
Although that would require effort, so it's costing me nothing for the Odyssey to keep backing up. So yeah. Backblaze. Oh yeah. Backblaze would be a good option.
So that's not free.
It's not free.
And the requirement was free and online.
Sure. However, if we're talking about like, okay, free is out of the window.
Oh yeah, but that if that makes sense, you know, the.
Yeah. If I was doing video archiving, I probably wouldn't do it to somewhere like Google Drive. Something like Backblaze would make a lot more sense because I'm doing mass storage archiving.
Yes.
So yeah.
Storing lots and lots of maths.
That's that. Drunk Graham streams are best streams. I'm glad it's something. So yeah. Original royal blue hoodie better than this electric blue. I like them both, to be honest. Like, the electric blue is extremely blue, whereas the midnight blue or royal blue. No, I would say this is royal blue, isn't it? I think this is advertised as royal blue.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not getting involved.
The midnight blue of the original one is more my line because I like dark coloured clothing. That's my jam. However, I like this just as much. I unwrapped this from the packet and I was like, wow, that's extremely blue. But also I put it on, I was like, I like it. I feel very seen. I feel very colourful. So yeah.
Very mindful. Very demure.
Yeah. Moisturised, flourishing, in my lane.
Oh, I'm glad you're in your lane. Should probably stay there.
The irony is people don't know which lane that is. Is Robert Electronics in the US or UK? I have no idea.
I would assume US by the fact that the person gave a price in dollars.
Can we turn on the PC in the meantime, or is that too much on topic? How dare you? I think it's ready to go, so the answer to that is yes.
Is it? Are you certain?
Yeah.
This SSD is not in there.
That's because that's the one I took out,
Okay.
because I'm replacing that with the 2
Okay.
terabyte.
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm not keeping both of them because this will go in the Lianli.
Okay.
So yeah. This is ready to go. Let me
And
fire
this,
it up.
this
is all coverings from that.
It's for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, I need that, and I need.
And I need degrahaming.
I've been degrahamed, or have I been? Well, we say degrahamer. That implies that this takes away the Graham from Graham, but really we are extra Grahaming. I am the Grahamist. The Grahamed. Too
drunk, too Graham.
Oh, that's annoying. This power loom goes directly across the Aorus writing. That kind of thing annoys me. Thanks. Cool. Bang! Yeah. It's quiet, this PC. I love it.
Is that the broken fan?
Yeah, this front one is not spinning because it's disconnected. It has a knackered bearing in it. Well, it's not mega knackered, but it has a very quiet, it has a very, very subtle noise to it. And I can hear it, and it annoys me. And considering it's not actually blowing through a radiator, it just doesn't need to be plugged in. I'm assuming we're RAM training right now because it ain't doing anything. It shouldn't be RAM training because we haven't changed anything since it last posted. Oh, actually, we probably did because we were messing around with the X670 board and then we put the CPU back in there. Yeah, it was RAM training. Aren't you supposed to go 10 minutes ago? No, we said an hour and a half just because we were making jokes about how it takes me like, I say
3 weeks.
Yeah, I say that it'll take me an hour to swap out a motherboard, and then we spend 3.5 hours of podcast doing it. I found Fractal fans to be noisy. Yeah. The Fractal fans, not actually very good. I would like to change them, but it will probably cost me £100 to put in the kind of fans that I would want to replace these with. And they're good enough that I'm not willing to spend that money. However, no. Broadly speaking, I don't think these fans are actually very good, no. They do their job, though, which is the important thing. These big blowy boys blow air onto the graphics card, and they light up. And the front blowy boys do their job as well. So, yeah. The RGB will kick in when I actually log in, because I need cam to be running for it to actually change colour. So that's why everything is plain white at the moment.
Where are these standoffs from?
Those are for the EK.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
You have already...
Yeah.
Where is the screwdriver? Oh.
Oh, you're going to put...
It's the iFixit one.
Yeah. That can all go in there.
Yes.
All right. Mr. Keeping the stream going.
All right, Mr. Degrahamed.
We've been through this. I am the Grahamist.
I am the Grahamizer.
2 hours of waffling. Apparently that's what people are here for, so... Gonna go beige Noctua? Absolutely not.
You have been disowned.
Yeah. Noctua is overrated.
Was there an SSD screw?
No. It
Okay.
is held down by the heatsink.
Is it this one? I'm trying to work out which one it
Anti-sag.
is.
Oh yeah, I'll stick the anti-sag in. Currently my Windows install is having a hissy fit going, "Ugh!" So we're just waiting for it to sort
No,
itself
it must
out.
be that one. No. Really?
How does that work? Oh, that went down there. That's why it feels weird.
Damn it.
What are you despairing over?
Does that really do that?
Yeah, I think so.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. This is. I think this is the first. I think this is like possibly one of the first times I've had this out since it's gone in. I haven't done a lot with this board since I fitted it. So yeah, but no, I do not like the PCH cover on this one bit. Like the I/O and stuff on this board looks very pretty, but the PCH heatsink and fan is terrible and hideous, and I hate it. Okay, right, mouse and keyboard. Your PIN is no longer available. Oh my god. Why do we use Microsoft accounts? Just wait for this to sort itself out. What graphics card? Yes, this is an Asus TUF 4080. How come Caradog not wearing one of your hoodies? He's too stylish for that. He does own one though. It is your backup hoodie in case of hoodie emergency, isn't it?
My Adamant IT hoodie in black lives in my car. It is my car hoodie.
For when you're chilly in your car.
Or someone else's chili in my car. Because it is of a size that it will fit literally all humans.
Yeah.
It is also capable for camping.
Have I ever put on that one? Did we do that at any point?
Oh, don't worry. I've put it on someone smaller.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. Because I feel like that was a joke that we've missed if we've never done that. Just me wearing your hoodie and being like, "Ah," you know. You'll need internet for this. I hate it. Okay, right.
I hate this
think I can get
M.2 cover.
Can I have Wi-Fi? No, I do not have Wi-Fi drives. Ah! I'm going to get a network cable. I don't want to reset my own password to fix my PIN number. And I just want it to log in and go, everything is working. Let's see. Storeroom.
Oh.
Network cables.
I was about to plug in that. There we go. Can you not plug in the one of these?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, actually, yeah, plug that in. That's probably going to be easier than getting a network cable over there, actually, yeah.
Can I successfully a USB? Apparently I can.
Huzzah. All right, I'm going to politely wait a few moments for Windows to find that USB Wi-Fi adapter and recognize it, and then we can connect it to Wi-Fi. I hate the way modern Windows is. I mean, this is a problem because I'm using a PIN code, and the PIN code is invalidated if the hardware has significantly changes. And that makes sense because I could have lifted someone's SSD out of their computer and put it in another computer to try and break in and access their data. So it makes sense that the Windows install has gone, whoa, this is a different computer now. I'm going to go into lockdown mode and require you to actually identify yourself.
Yeah.
So it's a pain in the backside, but it makes sense if you actually read into it. It's just, at times like this, it's just annoying. So yeah.
I will put this next to the Leanne.
All right.
There you go.
Okay, we have Wi-Fi now.
Are we on Benchcam? Yes. I'm going to take us off of Benchcam.
Yeah, go for it. Because that
And then go
also means that
Facecam.
I can start typing.
And then I'm going to go...
Conveniently, this keyboard is nuclear white, so no one can see what I'm typing.
You are typing some letters.
Yeah, oh, actually, I'm going to type in my Microsoft password, so I'm actually going to take it off screen anyway.
Your Microsoft password that I really hope isn't password 1234.
Ooh. I can't remember it, actually. I might actually need to look this up. Verify your identity.
I was going to say, the fact that you can even consider knowing what it is does me a sad.
There are a couple of passwords that I have as actually known passwords. For example, my Google password, because that's something where knowing my Google password means that I personally can get access to all of my stuff using that password. That is a point of access that I want to be able to have at any given time without needing to consult a password manager for it. So there are one or two of them where I actually have legitimate passwords. They're strong passwords because don't forget, like, password strength isn't just having random characters in it. It's just actually being a strong password. And yeah, my Microsoft account and my Google account are two such accounts.
I am the best YouTuber. 1, 2, 3.
How dare. Come on, email. Why is my phone not connected to Wi-Fi?
I don't know.
Okay, it's
Is
just
your
decided
access
to
point
connect to
broken?
Wi-Fi.
No, your access point is not
Yep.
broken.
My phone had just decided to not connect, so...
Well, did they emailed you a sign-in code?
Yes, I'm not sure what that's all about. It did say look at other options, so... Well, no,
Weird.
do I have?
Weird.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, I'm not using an authenticator code for that, which is a bit naughty. That's something I should probably fix at some point.
Damn it, Graham.
Yeah. All right. When's the next Doom race? There's no plan for a Doom race at the moment. However, I will be continuing my Doom playthrough tomorrow on Twitch. I'll be picking up the save file that from the race that Caradog and I did. Whoops.
Crunch.
And I will be continuing that. I will be taking that through to completion. Hello? I'll be taking that through to completion at 100%.
You need to tick the box.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Because you're not using a pin. You terrible individual.
Ah, numbers are what they think I'll be using, you see. I'm being smart.
Are you?
It's security through obscurity, so no, not really. But yeah.
When's the next Doom race? It won't be Doom, but there will be another co-stream. I'm
We
sure.
should definitely do that because the
should
Doom
pick
race
something else
the
up.
Doom race was a success, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I
I'll actually double check my stream settings before we go live and not try and pump out 240 FPS to YouTube.
Yeah. Like, not going to lie, I didn't think there would be interest in the Doom race. I went through with it because it was fun and I wanted to do it as well.
Oh yeah, I expected there to be very little engagement as well,
Yeah.
but it was just a fact of people said they wanted to see us both do a game stream, so I was
Yeah.
like, fine, we'll do a game stream.
Yeah, it's like, what were we running for viewership? Was it 70 or 90 viewers on YouTube?
Yeah, something about that.
Yeah,
So, like,
and like we normally get, and like that's half what the podcast gets, but still, considering most of you guys aren't here for game streams, I thought that was a pretty good turnout. So yeah, it was still a result, and like we had a good time and everyone enjoyed it. So yeah. Right. Do you just want to switch us back to Benchcam because the RGB is kicked in and I'm just going to set up
are your
my...
front fans off? All three of them?
They're stop-start.
I thought you said you'd stop starting.
I thought I had, but apparently I hadn't.
Oh,
I think I might have the stop-start just set extremely low. The primary GPU could not be found. A new GPU has been set. Sure. All right, so we're now on nice and purple. The Corsair RAM is on Rainbow Puke, which is just blowing out the camera at the moment. I will turn down the brightness of that. What's my cooling set to? Let's see, fan connector.
oh no!
Oh yeah, I do have it at stop-start, but the...
There we go. Now you can see the...
Yeah. Oh, the start is set to 30 degrees, but it is at 10%, so it might just be too low. I'm just going to bump that up to 15%.
There you go.
Right, are those spinning yet? No.
There you go.
Oh, they're based on liquid temperature. Yeah, okay, right. So the reason... yeah, that's
okay,
why.
that makes sense.
Yeah. I forgot that I had the fan set to liquid temperature. So, come on, go back to 10% exactly on the dot.
Can you use the arrow keys?
I don't think so. Oh, there we go. I got it. All right. So yeah, my fans are set to kick in when the liquid temperature hits 30 degrees. Because if the liquid temperature is at 25°C, your fans do not need to be on.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then
Understandable.
basically at 30 degrees, the fans start a ramp up to full speed, and they hit 75% at 40 degrees. Because when your fluid temperature hits 40 degrees, that's getting pretty hot for the coolant. Your coolant should be less than 40 degrees. So at that point, you really need to be taking heat out of it. And then from 40 degrees to 45, the fans ramped up to 100% because as soon as we go over 40 degrees, that's into the coolant is too hot, pump the fans to get the heat out of the system. However, if they're sub 40, then the fans are just floating around between 25 and 75%. So yeah.
And also doing on liquid temps really handy.
And the reason why I have the fans respond to liquid temps is like just them, look at that, 52, 55, 57 on the CPU. In a moment, whatever it's doing, it will stop. And like just then it was in the high 30s. We've now dropped to the low 40s and 40s. So we just saw a momentary swing between, go down to 39, I dare you. There we go. We just saw a swing from 39 degrees to 57 degrees within a second and then back again.
And the liquid temperature didn't actually change at all.
Exactly. Because the liquid temperature didn't change, the fans don't need to spin up for that. So we have the fans respond to the liquid temperature because the liquid temperature is the actual heat load in the water cooling loop. So we don't want our fans to go because there was a blip in the CPU load. We don't want our fans to suddenly ramp and then slow down because I opened steam. What we want is the fans to ramp up when there's actually a sustained load on the CPU that is actually kicking out sustained heat. So the fans are set to respond to the fluid temperature. The only catch is you have to actually know what fluid temperatures you should be expecting. And that's something you get from just profiling your computer. This is a mid-range CPU. This is a mid-range all-in-one liquid cooler. So I'm aiming for 30 to 40 degrees fluid temperature. If you have a high-end one, you might be able to have it higher or lower, but your fluid temperature should be somewhere between 30 and 40 degrees, basically. Once your fluid and like, I could lower the curve and aim it for the high 30s, but the problem you get there is if you take your fans too low and have them just kick in when your fluid is getting into the high 30s, what will happen is when your CPU actually comes under load, the CPU temperature will go very high because the fluid is already hot. And this is also the problem with having stop-start fans. If you run stop-start fans, what's going to happen is your fans stop when it's idle and your computer is idling hot. And that means when you hit it with a load, there's nowhere for the heat to go. So your fans instantly have to kick on to high speed to compensate. Whereas if you have the fans always at a very low speed, they're always just slowly scrubbing heat out of the PC. So when you actually have a real sustained load, there is a buffer of thermal capacity to absorb that heat load. So your CPU doesn't. So that means that when my CPU hits load, it will bang up to 70 degrees, but it won't bang up to 85 degrees and lose boost clock.
Although,
End rant.
because 7000 series.
Yeah, now I have a 7000.
If it doesn't boost up to 99C, you're losing clock.
True, yeah. Now I'm on a 7000 series. I don't know exactly how it will behave. So,
But
I mean,
obviously
I guess
the concept is exactly the same.
yeah,
And
yeah,
the actual performance loss between 85 and 95 is, probably 2%.
So we've got two options now. I'm just going to quickly hit Windows Update just so we can get drivers installed. We've got two options now. Windows isn't activated, you bastard. I'll fix that later.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Using today's video sponsor,
Well, no,
gamers-outlet.net.
I made them an offer and they didn't reply to me, so, Anyway.
If you use my special affiliate link,
True that. I could shill the affiliate link instead, and then maybe they'll pay attention to me. Anyway, so we've got an option now. We can start rebuilding the Lianli, or we can throw just a couple of benchmarks at this so I can have a look at what performance gains I've actually achieved from it. It's up to you guys. What do you guys want to see? Should we start building the Lianli now, or do you want me to throw a couple of benchmarks at this so I can talk about what kind of performance improvement I've got? Because I can bust out Handbrake and talk about how my Handbrake numbers have gone up, which they should have. But yeah. What card is it? This is an Asus TUF 4080, but the CPU is what we're interested in today because the CPU is what has changed. We've gone from a 5800X to a 7800X3D. Gamers Outlet don't do sponsors. Yeah. Well, they did ask me how much I would charge, and then when I made them an offer, they didn't reply. So I guess I asked for too much.
it was an offer they could easily refuse.
Yes. What's your dream PC, Graham? I don't know, because this is a really nice PC. I guess when the 9800X3D comes out, I'll want that by default, because the 9800X3D will be faster than this. There's not a doubt in my mind. It's
just whether it's 1% or 15%.
Yeah, exactly. It might not be meaningfully faster, but it will be faster. But yeah, I guess a 4090 would be nice because, like I say, because I play VR Chat is one of those games where you don't win with performance in VR Chat. It will eat whatever horsepower you throw at it. So the more horsepower you throw at it, the better. So I would quite happily take a 4090. But I'm just not willing to pay how much a 4090 costs. So yeah. What were you upgrading from? Yeah, 5800X, and I've just gone up to a 7800X 3D. So I should see a nice uplift in both gaming and non-gaming workloads there. So I'm just waiting for it to install chipset drivers for the new chipset, and then we'll bash it over the head with a couple of quick numbers. So yeah, we'll do a couple of benchmarks and then we'll move on. What's the timer at? I'm just going to move that out the way. Whoop. We're at 2 hours. Yeah, that's fine. 2 hours and 10 minutes. We're good.
I was going to say the other thing we could do is we could do it on that.
Oh yeah, we had the monitor.
Yeah, and just do both at the same time.
Yeah, start busting out that monitor while we waffle. Caradog has bought... Actually, well, you introduce it, because I've been talking. You do some talking.
I have purchased the cheapest monitor on UK stores that I could find.
Yeah.
That was IPS... And any display technology that wasn't VA is the much easier way of saying that.
Imagine having a VA monitor.
Well, yeah, cheap VA monitors are awful.
Yeah.
Absolutely awful. But basically, the cheapest monitor that I could find, new, in box, that was, yeah, not VA, anything but VA. And this is an IPS panel. And it had to have a refresh rate of higher than 120.
Fair enough.
And this was...
Yeah, I was going to say, what is the refresh on this?
This, I was going to say, this is the ViewSonic VX2428J. The J is important. This is the 185 Hertz version.
185? That's a really odd number. I guess they've just overclocked a 144 panel a bit more.
Or a 165 or something, yeah.
Because like 165 panels is just an overclocked 144 panel. Or most of them anyway.
Yeah.
Also, just a quick one. Marcel asked, do you have Win 11 on the system? I'm currently running Windows 10, but I'm planning to upgrade this to Windows 11 in the very near future. The reason why I've stayed on 10 is because for a long time, my VR headset was a HP Reverb, which is Windows Mixed Reality. And Windows 11 is dropping Windows Mixed Reality support. However, I have recently upgraded to a Quest 3, so I'm no longer on WMR. I'm now just on Quest. So I will be upgrading this to Windows 11. I'm waiting for a 24H2 release of Ghost Spectre because I want to see what Ghost Spectre is like to daily drive as a quote-unquote debloated Windows. I want to see what that experience feels like to see whether running Ghost Spectre is worthwhile in the slightest, whether I get any kind of sense of achievement from running a debloat Windows. So yes. How much did it cost, Caradog?
£99.
Damn, 100 quid.
Yeah.
So like, if this is not terrible, then that's a great price. All it has to be is not shit.
Yeah. For £99.
Yeah. Also, apologies for packaging rustling noises. It's unavoidable. It's just going to be like that for the next 10 minutes. Lowest front fan is not spinning. Yeah, this fan is not connected because the bearing in it is kind of ropey and it makes annoying noises. So that's on purpose. ASMR. You have a very strange taste in ASMR, Rogue Squadron.
Don't worry, that comes later.
Now and then when I'm talking to a difficult customer, I lean my head against those tiles while I'm talking to them.
Ha!
Oh, restart.
I thought you said, oh, stop. There you go.
Is it 1080p? Yeah, what resolution is this?
It is probably 1080p.
Oh, that's
because
a
it
bit
says
sad.
full HD. But
Oh,
also, it's
yeah.
24 inches.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, 1080p is fine at 24 inches, yeah.
It comes with the VESA holes.
Yeah, actually, I don't know what part of me thought it was going to be 1440p at 100 quid. 100 pounds, high refresh, 1440p. No, that's yeah. It's probably best that it's 1080p because it would be a pretty awful 1440 if it were.
Probably,
Yeah.
yeah. Where is the big screwdriver?
It is here.
Excellent. I now require 3 hands.
Do you want me to hold the stand?
Fucking... There we go.
Gigabyte Control Center? No. Do not show this message again. Cancel.
Oh, I thought, yeah. Don't forget to turn that off in your Eufy.
Yeah. Because for those of you who don't know, the motherboard has a built-in thing so the motherboard has a built-in feature where the BIOS will tell Windows, hey, this is the utility for controlling the BIOS from within Windows. It's called the Gigabyte Control Center. Put up a notification prompting the user to download this program. Fine. But the problem is, it provides a link for where to download the program from, and that link is not HTTPS. It is non-secure HTTP.
Is it?
Yeah. This was the recent security scare.
That was ages ago, though. And there have been BIOS updates since then.
Can they fix that in BIOS?
I don't see why they can't just change the URL.
I suppose. I thought that was in hardware for some reason or other. But yeah.
Well, even if it was, just write a new address.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, Lead Farmer's just said it's HTTPS now. It was not in past, yeah. Okay, they fixed that now. Fine. That was still an extremely funny exploit to have on a modern computer.
Sure.
That stand looks fairly nice.
Yeah.
I quite like
it.
that.
It has no height. It has no swivel. But what do you expect?
Yeah, yeah. All it has to do is not wobble, because that's upside down.
How is that upside down?
Oh, no, I see. Oh, it's got a triangle. Yeah, okay. No, sorry, it's a tripod. I'm sorry.
Come here, Screw.
What was I going to say? Yeah, it was very funny that was an exploit on, like, a modern motherboard. Like, that would have been embarrassing on B450 4 years ago, you know. Anyway, yeah, all this has to do is not wobble, because that's the problem with a lot of cheap monitors, is they wobble. Also, sure, it's not height adjustable, but it's tall. I like it.
Guess what?
That's a really tall stand.
Guess what?
It's height adjustable.
There's no excuse.
For £100. That's cool, man. I like it. I'm into it. That's really tall as well. That's not bad.
Acceptable.
That's a good stand. I'm into it. I'm impressed. And I'm not saying that because of the D. Grahammer as well. Like, genuinely, shit, there's a bit of wobble, but
Yeah, but that's
I've
really
seen
good.
worse.
Look at that.
Yeah, I've seen worse.
99 quid does that. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Like, build quality. What's the build quality like? You've been manhandling it. Does it feel plasticky? Does it feel gross?
This feels pretty awful.
I mean, it's metal though.
Yeah. This is fine.
Yeah.
I don't spend much time stroking my monitor, so I don't care. Oh,
it's got swivel. Apple will charge you how much for that?
£4,000.
Okay, cool. We're doing pretty good then. I'm kind of going to
What inputs have we got?
I'm going to be kind of sad if this monitor is crap.
We have DisplayPort and, it uses an external power supply.
Oh,
Boo.
that's a shame.
Instant fail.
Yeah, kind of. If everything else on this monitor is good, I will forgive it for having a power brick. However, like I just flogged one of my spare monitors specifically because it has a power brick. A customer was looking for a second-hand monitor, and I had no incentive to sell them one of my monitors. However, I sold them the AOC because it has an external power brick, and I hate monitors with external power bricks because now you have to have a power brick that follows the monitor around. You can't just plug in an IEC lead like a normal person.
Yeah. It's also annoyingly 12 volt.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah.
If they'd made it a 19 volt one.
Yeah.
And they just used the quote-unquote Toshiba connector.
The AOC was 19 volts and took the 5.5 mil connector, which is the Toshiba connector. So there was like 1,000 laptop power supplies that would work on that monitor. Whereas this now, what's the amperage on it?
30. It's 30 watts.
Oh, 30 watts. Yeah, not 30 amps.
Yeah, it's 30 watts, 2.5 amps.
2.5. That's a lot. That's weird. Yeah.
What, 30 watts?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, no. For a monitor, that's about right, I guess.
That's not that much.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I think
I mean, I guess for an IPS 24-inch,
I guess it's because it's 12 volt, that's why the amperage is high, but 30
Yeah.
watts is reasonable when you put it in
Yeah.
that perspective. Yeah. All right. Hang on a sec, I'm going to catch
Yeah.
up on chat.
I was going to
999 for the Pro Display stand. Oh, God, I hope not, but it might have been. I know it was too
Yeah, it was.
expensive.
It was £1,000.
Ugh, gross. Yes, this panel is IPS. Let's see. It's better that way. Less to break inside permanent. I see what you're saying, Lead Farmer.
But also no.
Yeah. From a repair perspective, it's good because the power supply can be easily replaced. But also just, I don't know, power supplies in monitors failing, it is a common failure mode, but also monitors failing is not that common. And because the overall cost of the monitor is very low, you don't really care that much if it fails. So swings and roundabouts, I would rather it be internal personally.
Yeah.
Ties cord around
Always.
base won't get lost. Sure, I guess. But yeah, I'd still just rather it be internal. Are we testing it now so we can see it? Yes, we'll point a camera at it. And the camera will only be able to see it 60 frames a second, but we're certainly going to fire it up, play a game on it, and be like, yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah. Yeah. Are we... Yeah, we'll plug it in and see if it works first. And, oh yeah, we'll plug it in and then point a camera at it. I guess.
Yes?
Yeah. As opposed to doing capture.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I was going to plug this in as well.
Sure.
So you could continue doing what you're doing whilst I sort this out and plug this in.
Well, yeah, I need to set the color on the RGB RAM on this, and then I'm basically done.
Oh, the most important of things.
It's nice that it came with a DisplayPort cable and not a HDMI as well.
It's probably because the HDMI can't do the refresh rate.
Yeah,
It's
but
probably like HDMI 1.4.
yeah, even still, it's always nice when they actually put in a DisplayPort cable though, because I
Have
would
we
expect
got-
it. Yeah.
Have we got a power cable? Nope. None of these are appropriate.
Oh, have we not got two kettle leads down there?
Nope.
Oh, okay, I'll grab one.
I can do you 3
Yeah.
different...
Hang on a sec. What was that chat message that I read that I was going to respond to? HDMI or DERP port? What other connectivity has it got on it? What's the port?
It's got 2 HDMI,
Oh, that's not bad.
a DisplayPort,
Yeah.
and 3.5 mil.
Yeah. Dual HDMI is not something that I particularly care about because, like, you know, how many people actually have multiple computers connected to their monitor? You know,
Yeah.
really. However, still, it's nice to have because there's going to be like 10 people out there that are like, actually, I do that. So, sure.
Oh, excuse me. I bought this on Amazon, I think. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Oh, it's got speakers as well.
Does it actually have speakers?
Oh, I think. Well, it's got a headphone jack on it.
Hey.
Yeah, I think it's got sound. And, like, again, the speakers will be rubbish.
Ah.
We're under no illusion that the speakers will actually be good. However,
What's
but
this?
it's nice to have because just in a pinch, you can ship it as an office monitor, basically. And, like, sure, we're looking at this as a gaming monitor, but also it's 99 quid, which means it's the kind of monitor that you would supply as just a premium office monitor as well. Because, you know, high refresh is nice to have on the desktop just because things scrolling looks smoother and stuff like that. Right, before you go much further, let's just turn that around and point the bench cam at it.
There you go.
Where did I put... I've got the mouse over here. Yeah, let's move that, whoops, a little bit back if possible. Oops, I missed.
Do you want to stand here?
I'll stand there.
That seems like the sensible thing.
Right, I'm going to take you guys on a magical adventure. Bench cam with face. Hold on to your lunch, everyone.
Wah!
Right, I don't want to zoom too much because digital zoom. I just want to make sure that, did I quit Discord? Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. So because we're pointing a camera at a monitor, obviously, like, you guys aren't going to get a real impression of the monitor quality, but at least you can see, like, brightness versus, we have studio lighting pointing at this, so keep that in mind. No monitor is going to look bright under studio lights. That's not a fight you win. So, yeah, I guess we're just going to try and describe this as best we can. Okay, right, I'm going to make that small again and put that back down there again. And monitor looks completely fine from first appearance. Yeah, I mean, considering we're just pointing a camera at it, that looks pretty good. And, like, let me just stand over here again and stare at it for a sec, because, like, I know this background very well because I've been using this background for years. So, first impressions, the color is rich. You know, this is pastel colors, but, like, the turquoise in Luna's eyes is nice and bright. And, like, when we look at the rest of it, we've got bright, vibrant colors, and the shadows down here, you can see the color all the way down to the bottom right of the screen. This hasn't disappeared into black. Down here, we've got some deep shadows, and even though those are deep shadows, I can still see this section here. You can see there's a line coming down here in the background, and I can see the edge of that line all the way down to here in the deep shadows. So basically, the dark sections of the background are not just vanishing into black, which is what would happen on a VA panel. This would just disappear into black. You just wouldn't be able to see it. In terms of panel performance, it looks pretty good to me. IPS will never have good contrast. That's its weak point.
Yeah, it will only do about 1,000 to 1 on the best panels.
Yeah. Do we know what the brightness rating on this is?
No.
Yeah.
All I know is
But even still, like,
that basically I just sorted cheapest first. And
yeah. Is that at high refresh? Yeah.
it's on whatever Windows will have set it to.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you drive. Do you want to throw? What's the UFO test called again?
UFO test?
I guess, but like
From Blurbusters?
Blurbusters. Yeah. Let's throw the UFO test at it. And,
Yes. Use the Amazon AI-powered tool to view your orders. Or I could just tap my orders.
Yeah. Any dead pixels? No. Well, not that we can see at first blush, but like dead pixels is not something I expect on any modern monitor, to be honest.
Except for that one that we got. The other cheapest possible one where it
yeah.
had just like 25 dead pixels.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful. How
Yeah.
much was that one again? I can't remember.
Like £79 or something.
Yeah. The last time Caradog bought the cheapest gaming monitor, he bought something like this, but it was like £79 and it was like 144 hertz, and it was so bad. Like, we were kind of sad about it because of just how bad it was. It
Yeah.
was like, don't get me wrong, like, obviously we have the capability of being monitor snobs. You know, we've both looked at really nice monitors, so we can easily look at an average monitor and be like, oh, that's crap, mate. But also, like, we both like good bang for buck. We can look at
Yeah.
something and be like, yeah, for the price point, that looks great. However, the last time we looked at the cheapest gaming monitor money could buy, it was literally not fit for purpose. It was genuinely awful.
Ooh.
It was so bad it was funny. So yeah. What was the J at the end of the model? Did Caradog explain? Yeah, what does the J mean? You said that was
It's the
important.
185 hertz.
Oh, that means it's 185.
Yeah. Because there's one without a J, I believe, which is 165.
Yeah. Performance warning. Browser stutter. All right,
Oh,
we're at
God.
165 at the moment.
Those look reasonably good though.
All right. But I noticed we're at 165. We should be at 180.
Yeah, so there's probably some overclocking toggle or
Okay.
something.
Well, let's look at it at 100. 165 is fine.
It's reasonably good.
Yeah, so for me, looking at that, that looks like a 165 monitor without black frame insertion.
Yeah, which is entirely what you'd
Which
expect.
is, yeah,
But it's also the fact of it's a £99 monitor that actually looks like it might be
yeah,
doing something close to 165 hertz.
yeah. Like this is not smearing into a line.
Yeah.
Like remember those Asus panels I had that were 165 VAs.
Yeah.
Those were just like there was a trail behind everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, there is a smudge on the yellow.
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, this top row is not sharp
Yeah.
per se, but it's acceptable. So
Yeah, it's reasonably good for.
yeah. So it begs the question, like, yeah, I assume you didn't see any such black frame insertion in
No.
the thing. Yeah,
No, there's
Yeah.
not going to be any fancy features at all on it, I would
yeah.
imagine.
So the way that you would
Oh, apparently there's a crosshair option.
the way that you would solve this blur problem on a higher end monitor is you would have you would have what's called black frame insertion or backlight strobing, which is where it pulses the backlight off and on in sync with the refresh rate. And because the screen actually goes black between each frame, you don't get the persistence of vision, which means the image becomes sharper at the cost of brightness. It tanks the brightness of the monitor, but it makes it much sharper, which is usually a worthwhile trade-off. However, apparently this monitor has no such features, so we're not expecting it. But yeah, for 99 quid, sure. So yes. Yeah, like at first blush, for 100 quid, this seems great.
Right?
Yeah, because obviously, like, kids these days, kids have no money and they want high performance gaming. So kids these days, they want high refresh monitors, but they can't afford to spend 300, 400 pounds on a screen because that was the cost of their entire computer. So 100 quid. What have you spotted?
I've just put it to maximum overdrive.
Okay.
Please now look at the monitor.
Oh no! Oh no! Okay.
Hello, here's some inverse ghosting.
Yeah, so you don't see this when there's a camera pointed at a screen, but there is an inverted copy of the UFO behind each one.
Yeah, it's particularly egregious here.
Oh, it's terrible, man.
You can probably get this to show up on camera.
Yeah. Let's try and... yeah, you can see it on camera. Let me zoom in. You can see it.
Yeah, if
Where's
you
the
also
zoom?
reduce the brightness slightly, it should show up a little bit better.
Yeah. Apologies for the strobing effect, but look at the bottom row. You can see the blurring on the bottom row. Yeah. Oh, that's terrible, Muriel.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that's the issue you get with just like maximum overdrive and
Yeah,
stuff.
but also that's just overdrive though. Yeah. So can we get it to 185? Let's see what it looks
I
like.
don't know.
Yeah. Let's see if we can take it up to 185 and see what happens. Like personally, in my opinion, 144 is perfectly fine.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And like the problem is you have to do crimes to get an IPS panel up to high refresh rate. So in my opinion, even if the monitor is capable of 185, I would still drive it at 144 anyway. Because that you're having to make such sacrifices to actually get it to 185 that you may as well just underrun it and just not stress the panel. But yeah, what test? This is called the UFO test. It's from Blurbusters. So if you Google search UFO test, it'll pop up.
Ha! I'm just gonna pop out of that.
Okay, that's 180, maybe.
I'm gonna refresh that now.
All right, that's 180. Let's see. Let me.
There you go.
That looks better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So these stutter warnings, it will flag that up if there's like a 1 FPS wobble kind of thing. So like we don't need to worry about that. We can ignore this. It's just saying that you might not be getting a perfect 180 FPS.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's not terrible.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at my monitor at home to compare, but like that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Considering we've got no backlight strobing, that's really good.
Yeah.
Diminishing returns sets in quick with refresh rates. It does, yeah. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
How do I make... Oh, you can't make each UFO bigger.
I guess not, no. But yeah. Is that SpongeBob in a spaceship? No, it looks more like one of the... It looks more like an alien from...
There you go.
It looks more like an alien from Commander Keen. Oh, there's some horrible strobing from the camera there, so... Yeah.
I'm just trying to see on there. Because apparently there's text on it. But I can't see the text. Even at such a slow speed.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're talking about there.
No. No. If I turn that off. Is that better? Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Don't know. Oh, UFO with text. There we go.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, now it's showing blurbusters.com. So it's to test how much text just vanishes. How readable is text at high speed?
Yeah.
So yeah. Is it not the UFO from Toy Story? Oh, yeah, you're right. Because the Toy Story aliens had 3 eyes like that. Yeah, you're right.
Oh.
That makes sense.
Oh, that's wild. Stand here and follow that.
Oh, I'm looking at it on the preview and I'm like, I don't want to.
And tell me what happens to the background.
Oh, I've got. Oh no! Oh no! 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 So the background is stripes, but the moment I focused on the alien, it became a checkerboard. It's terrible, man.
Ah, there we go. That's what we're on about.
Oh, you're just adding more.
Yeah, there we go. Because I was trying to compare it because the Blurbusters test that everyone uses didn't look like that one.
Oh,
and I was
right,
just like,
yeah.
why does it look different? But it's that.
Ah, I see. Yeah. Fair enough. All right.
Yeah. Oh my god, what?
Dare I? Well, very well. Cool. All right. Well,
That's not awful.
yeah.
Do you have a real mouse?
I can get a real mouse. What are your thoughts?
Or just
Play a game on it.
loading some sort of actual
Yeah.
game?
All right. Let me grab a mouse and keyboard. So what we'll do, I'm going to stick the side panels on this, and we'll put
Yep.
it under the counter because then
Yep.
we'll have some space on the bench.
Yep.
And then I'll fire up a game.
Yep.
Because this certainly seems to be working. I can change the color of the RAM, but we don't need to do that on stream. I'll just do that later. The point is this system is working.
Shut down anyway, Steam.
Oh, it's blue fluff. That's fine.
Why is my glass scratched? Be gone. Oh. Tracing some of those patterns is just like, I've gone cross-eyed.
Yes, Austin, it's best that you don't think about it. Right. Could you take us off the bench cam for a moment?
Face cam.
Go.
Lifting my 40 kilo case.
Yeah. I love the Fractal Torrent to bits, but it's too big and too heavy. Kind of want to change my case at some point, but I don't need to. And I don't know. Because of the size of that 4080, I'd have to choose real carefully to find another case that would, like, let's pretend that I switched case. What would I change the case to that would still fit the 4080 but be smaller and lighter? That would be a tough call.
A Corsair 750D.
Maybe. I like Fractal though. I like having a Fractal. I like Fractal as a company right now. Call me Fractal.
Hi, Fractal.
All right. That'll do.
The only problem is, will it reach?
Yeah, it'll be fine. Boop.
Oh, good.
Yeah, the cable's kind of going to flop everywhere, but it is what it is. Right. Mouse. Right, that should work.
It's there.
Oh. You're there. Could you grab... Oh, yeah, Wi-Fi antennas.
No, come here.
Thank
Come here. There you go.
Let's see. Can you play a game on it? Yes. We're moving to that. Not many cases excite me at the moment. Yeah, I agree with that. The Liane is too small, the one you had on the bench recently. The Landcool 2, I like that. That would do the job, but it's also bastorially heavy. So yeah. I guess maybe something like the baby version of that, the 207. What's the new one that just got released that GN loves? Or loved. The Diddy version of the Landcool, the 207, that would probably be it.
Did you drop it?
No, why'd you ask? Oh, I mean, it's taken a knock at some point, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like a couple of times I've dinked it on the side of things. Right, one moment. Studio mode, bench cam with face. And drop that a little bit. That should do it. All right. Bench cam with face. Okay. Let you sort that out. Double glass panels. Yeah. Oh, it's the 216. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the double panels on a lot of these cases are the problem. Both the Fractal that I've got in front of me here and the Landcool 2 that I have, we still don't have Wi-Fi apparently. Let's see, device manager. And the Landcool 2. Oh, it didn't install stuff, you horrible thing. Network controller. Yeah, the Landcool 2 that I have also has double-sided glass, and it just makes the case annoyingly heavy.
Stop it. Stop.
Stop! Right, what network controller is this? Why didn't Windows Update find you? Details. Hardware IDs. 10EC. That's Realtek, I think.
Realtek Wi-Fi.
Right, what are you? 10EC C852. 10EC. Forgotten already. C852. C852. It is. It is a Realtek.
Just go to the Gigabyte website.
That's what I'm going to do now. Oh, Aurus Elite AX.
Yeah, that's the B550.
Oh, okay, yeah. Gigabyte. I was just curious. Usually, if you Google search that, you can get the model number, and that just immediately says it's an X. I will now find that on the Gigabyte website, kind of thing. Delivering a better tomorrow. I can upgrade my life with all of these plants.
It will require you to answer your emails.
Will it? Oh my god. Right. What is this? It's a B650 Aorus
Elite AX.
Elite AX. Thank you. Support, downloads. 10. Driver, Willan BT. Intel, AMD Wi-Fi driver for Rev 1. It is a Rev 1.0
Yeah.
we've got. So AMD Wi-Fi driver means it's a real tech. So
There's nothing there.
there should be. There should be all the things there.
There should be so many crimes.
Yeah, and I'm actually going, why is my downloads folder empty? However, that doesn't matter right now. That's fixable later. It basically just means my home folder redirects are going to somewhere else because I've changed drives. What drive? Oh, I changed my data drive.
Yes.
So my home folder's got nuked. That's fine. That also just didn't install, so cool, I guess. Let's run that again.
Didn't it unextract? Wasn't it just an?
It was an extractor, but then it just didn't launch anything. If a Wi-Fi driver. It's doing something now. Thanks, Gigabyte.
Womp womp womp.
Gigabyte, AMD.
Womp womp womp.
Thanks, Gigabyte. All right.
Wild.
Is that actually broken? Oh, fine. 7-zip, open archive. Willan. All right, there's some drivers, everyone. Let's just extract that. Actually, let's extract that to downloads. Not what? What do you mean not implemented?
Because you were dragging it on top of the archive, I think.
I think you're right. Okay. We have a driver. All right. Update driver. Nonsense. Downloads. Willan. Windows was unable to install your network controller. What are you? And I'm so sorry. Can't believe I installed
Wild.
this motherboard. I mean, I guess that's why Windows Update didn't find it.
Yeah.
What? No, seriously though, what are you? 10EC C852. 10EC C852.
Oh god. I thought JD was talking to us for a second there, saying, "Are you planning on taking on Lumi schools again?" And I was like, "No, never, not a chance."
Who's Lumi? Are they a super pro gamer overclocker?
Yes.
I see.
I was just like, "Oh no, not me."
Right, here is, what's this for? B550M Aorus Elite. I'm going to try this
Yeah.
Realtek Wi-Fi driver because there's a good chance, like this is Wi-Fi 6, not 6E, so there's a good chance that this is just the same chipset. It's from a different motherboard, but like I said, yeah. What are you?
What are you?
It's doing something.
Need to invite Caradog. Need to indoctrinate him.
Into the secret boys clubs. It's like we're back on XP again. Yeah, I hate it when I have Wi-Fi when I have driver issues like this. Because yeah, people who are just like XP was great. I'm just like, no, XP was like this all day, every day. It was pretty awful. Kids these days have never tried to install the drivers on a VIA chipset motherboard. All right, I don't think that worked either. Update driver. No, still nothing. Okay, so that's no good. 10EC, that's a different model number. C852. C821. What the hell is this Wi-Fi adapter? Let's go back to the Gigabyte website and just see if I'm going absolutely insane. B650 Aorus Elite
AX V2. It's the V2.
V2. I might not have had the V2. I think that might be where I went wrong.
I think that's where I drove you wrong.
Support, downloads, WLAN. There we go. There's a Realtek driver. Yeah, there we go. The Windows 11 driver. Yeah, Windows 11, Windows 10. It'll be fine. I was going to say there's going to be no difference between the two drivers anyway. So.
Yeah.
1708, 1708. Good.
Huh?
I was checking the download times to make sure I wasn't opening the previous one I tried to install.
Oh, I see.
Because we've got like 3 drivers in the downloads folder now.
One of you will work.
There we go. Yeah, that's picked up now. Apparently it's 6E.
Huh.
Which is nice. The rear I/O panel just says 6, but yeah.
It's amazing what happens when you download the drivers for a correct board.
Imagine.
You were led wrong. You were led astray.
All right. Right. Oh, that's the built-in one.
Why won't you unplug? Oh no!
Yeah, we're finding stuff. Cool.
Did it.
Oh, that's the wrong password.
Hasn't fucking shovable.
Bam, 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 bam. Why are you still open? It's because I have you open.
Why are you open? It's because you're open.
Cool. Right. Can we afford Steam? We can afford Steam. All right.
Excellent.
Let's see.
What's first person?
Killing Floor?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. I'll fire up Killing Floor. I don't care about Steam Cloud right now. I'll play anyway. Damn it. Right. Watch me be bad at Killing Floor, everyone. However, it is an FPS that is a high-speed FPS, so it's a reasonably good example. Wrong password is the password. Good.
It's like the coffee shop that its Wi-Fi password was buy a coffee first.
See, now that does beg the question, did you actually have to buy a coffee first? It has speakers. They're about as good as I'd expect built-in speakers to be. We're going to get some really tinny heavy metal on this now.
Nice and crunchy.
Let's see, play solo offline.
Hold on, before you do that,
are we at the correct?
Actually set the resolution.
I was going to say, that looks wrong. What is it? Oh, it's a 720, yeah. Ooh.
And then variable frame rate.
Sure.
Well, because then it will actually, stop being 60.
Yeah. I have a global frame rate limiter of 144 on at the moment. I should probably turn that off, but yeah. Let's get my on-screen stats on. I have a shortcut key for this, but I can't. But my shortcut key is scroll lock. So, on-screen display. Right, Killing Floor 2 is an old game that's jank, so it looks like it's crashed. But if I wait for a minute, it'll come back. There we go.
Pow.
It was made in Georgia, everyone.
I thought that RAM readout was the speed for a moment, and I was just like, ah!
Yeah, we're missing a lot of my stats, but that's probably just simply because the CPU has changed, and I need to set up the stat readout again for it, which is kind of a bummer because it would be nice to see that, considering we did just change the CPU on this. So yeah. Let's do something bright. So I'm going to go to Steam Fortress. Cool. That'll do. Go.
Away!
Support, because I'm terrible. Oh no, it hasn't loaded my profile because Steam hadn't synced properly. Guess I'm level 0 now. Okay.
Time to get good.
I shouldn't be playing level 0 on hard mode. This is going to be terrible and awful. I have readied up. Game, you should begin now. I don't want to invite friends. I have readied up. Killing Floor, why are you like this? We are online, right? We're offline. No internet secured. Has the stream just died?
No? Doesn't appear to.
Yeah.
No.
Weird. Connect. I'm reconnecting. I'm also just going to see if I can fix my stats while I'm here. Let's see. Monitoring on-screen. Yeah, monitoring, isn't it?
Yes.
CPU temperature. Why are you not appearing? Show on-screen display. Oh, I think I just need to go through and just toggle all of the... Yeah, no, in OSD. I'll just go through and toggle them all. What if I hit apply now? Nothing. Okay. I'm not sure why I'm not getting CPU stats. What if I do something new? No, it's not recognized that. Maybe I need to update my No, it's Riva Tuner, and Riva Tuner is up to date because it auto updates.
Don't know.
I don't know why I'm not getting CPU stats. I'm not going to fret over that now, just because it's just stuff that we've got to sort. Right, we are still offline apparently.
Do you have weird...
Let's see. Network and troubleshooting settings. What is your major malfunction? Connect when in range on. We are connected. Let's see. Status, properties. Don't have an IPv4 address. Can we have the classic menu where I know what I'm doing? Change adapter name. There we go. IPv4, obtain automatically. Okay. Status. Details. Yeah, IPv4 auto config hasn't gone through, which is a bad sign. Why aren't you picking up an IP address? You're on manual. I'm just going to plug in the USB adapter for now because we don't need network performance.
The access point did give issues before, if you remember, where it just wasn't DHCPing.
Maybe, yeah. But like the USB one works fine. Yeah, bam, we've got internet again. I don't know what's going on with that, but like that's a problem for another time. So that's not the issue we're trying to. That's not what we're looking at right now. So actually, I'm going to
just click.
Retry sync. Yeah. It says I've got no connection at the moment. I might just restart Steam because that should just fix everything. Disable uncheck IPv6. Yeah, it shouldn't have to. But well, it should work just over the USB adapter for now. So come on, Steam, wake up.
God.
I just want to play a game.
210 euros on Dutch Amazon for this monitor. Weird.
210 euros? Wild. That's a bummer.
Yeah. But also
there it
just
goes.
like we get random, random items that are low pricing, obviously.
UK prices are weird, aren't they? Killing Floor 2. Steam Cloud status up to date. There we go. All right, stuff should work now. Just want to see if it turns into a smeary mess. Wonder if dual install driver mixed softwares. I don't think so. But yeah. That's not a fault that I'm going to bother troubleshooting right now because we just want to play some games on the monitor and see if it turns into a smeary mess. Yeah, we're not here to solve weird Wi-Fi connection issues.
You clicked too many times.
I did, and now it's going to sit on a black screen, but it'll come back in a moment. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Play solo offline. I don't know why I cared either, because I said play solo offline, which meant I wanted to play offline. But, you know, you do you, modern games. Perks. Yeah, there we go. My perks are in place now. Oh, you bastard. Launch game.
Pretty sure you said play solo last time, which is play online.
Oh, if I did, I didn't mean to. Either way, it's now loaded my perks, so...
Yes.
There we go, deploying in 2 seconds. Cool. All right. So it's 1080p, which I'm not used to, but... Oh, the monitor speakers are too loud, so that everything is very shouty. However... It looks okay. There is some smudge. Like, my Asus monitors at home with backlight strobing look sharper than this. Oops. There we go. There's my... There we go. So, yeah. Whoops. Trying to give commentary while playing this at the same time is hard work. Yeah. It plays pretty good. Again... This monitor is £100 in the UK, and I would be really happy if I just bought this as my new gaming monitor, as a budget gamer kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. I think
I'd be extremely satisfied with this. Like,
apparently, if you wanted to go up to 1440p, you're looking at £175.
Yeah. 1440, £175, did you say? Yeah. Where's the
left,
audio
right,
adjust?
there.
Right. Okay.
Press the button.
Yeah, the labeling on this monitor is garbage because it just has squares on all the buttons. It doesn't matter, you know. Crawlers everywhere. Getting cornered. Oh, I'm in a corner, that's why. Uh-oh, I might die. I'm stuck in a corner. Ha! Yeah, I perished because I got myself cornered. I escaped. Oh, I died. All right. There's a little corner. I got stuck against the terrain there. That's where I got stuck, and so I immediately perished. Okay, but the monitor is pretty good.
Yeah, certainly for £99.
Yeah, like if I was gaming on a budget and I just spent £100 on this monitor, I would be entirely satisfied, because the kind of thing that could be wrong is the kind of thing that could go wrong is you end up with just a bad panel that says it's IP. Like some of the Dell laptops, they have IPS panels on them, but they're a smeary mess.
Yeah.
And like it's got the viewing angles and it's got the color, but it's a smeary mess when you scroll through anything or play a game on it. This doesn't do that.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any dead pixels on it. It's got a nice stand. It's got a metal stand that doesn't wobble meaningfully, and playing games on it, it doesn't smear into the Stone Age. Sure, there's no backlight strobing or anything to sharpen it up a bit more, but also like it's not going to have the brightness to do that anyway.
Yeah, probably not.
If you want to do backlight strobing, you need to have a really strong backlight, because backlight strobing tanks your brightness.
Yeah.
Ask me how I know. So like the fact that it doesn't have it is probably fine. So yeah, I think it's a great screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
For £99.
Yeah. Monitor colors look pretty washed out. It's, yeah, like it is a camera pointing at a screen. In real life, it looks completely fine to me. Yeah. This looks completely fine to me. And yeah, the slight washing out you're seeing, that is studio lighting. We could turn off, like, let me turn off the house lights a sec, because the studio lights aren't pointing at it, but the house lights are. Pow. Yeah, so with the house lights off, we've still got studio lighting? Studio lighting.
Studio lighting.
Lighting pointed at me, but it's not pointed at the screen. So as you can see, those colours look a lot more vibrant now. And yeah, there's a little bit of splash on there because some light is bouncing around, but still, yeah. Yeah, I think it's cool. It's a good screen. Thumbs up.
There you go.
I'm going to turn the lights back on. What's the timer on? Oh, we're at 3 hours. Oh, yeah, okay. I will rebuild the Lianli next time, I think.
Yes.
So, yes. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah, let's see. Get out of your sRGB color space calibration tool and check out. I don't have such a thing. What color space are we on, though? Standard.
Just whatever house standard is.
Yeah. I'm just going to have a look at the color profiles because, yeah, for a nice monitor, I would expect it to have an sRGB mode. And sRGB mode typically looks better. That's on native. Oh, there's an sRGB color temperature. Give me that. Oh, we lose a lot of brightness going to sRGB. It's still fine. Like in your bedroom, that would be okay. Interestingly, though, it hasn't changed the colors that much. Let me look at that a sec. Yeah, so switching it into sRGB mode drops the brightness a lot. So obviously, where it's pumping the brightness on the monitor, that is throwing the colors slightly off by calibration standards. But visually, it looks the same. Other monitors I've had, when you switch between its default and sRGB mode, there's a big shift in color.
Yeah.
Whereas this, the native mode, there's not a doubt in my mind that if you put a color calibrator on that, it would say, no, that's off color, because it's driving the brightness to get to that.
Yeah, it also just doesn't have a massively wide gamut anyway.
Yeah.
But also it's a £99 monitor.
Yeah. Visually, it's fine. Visually, that's completely fine in my books.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And given the monitors people seem to keep buying for like £99.
Yeah, like if you could put this next to a VA, it's almost a shame that I sold the AOC monitor this week. Otherwise, I'd put the AOC next to this, and if we put them side by side, that would just make it look very, very stark. Because that AOC was a VA panel, and it was just washed out.
Yeah.
And if you put that next to this one would just demolish it in all ways it's possible to be demolished.
Yeah.
So yeah, yes, it has VESA. So yeah, thumbs up, good monitor, money well spent, I think. Cool.
Excellent.
Yeah, right, well, I think I've enjoyed this conversation in English.
I think we are done.
Yeah, so yeah, so I've got to rebuild the Lianli. I'm going to put all of the stuff that I took out of my PC into the Lianli, but that's a job for another day. And by another day, I mean during the week, probably, maybe. But yes, I've enjoyed this stream in darkness. Yeah.
Cards and hearts and cards and cards and darkness.
Indeed.
Switchblade.
Yes. Good. Right. If you're in the UK, it's worth it. Yeah, I agree. So yeah, that was at Amazon, you said, wasn't it?
Yeah.
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 £100, Amazon, ViewSonic, whatever this is, 185 hertz, 1080p. IPS, I think that's a solid monitor for the price. Yeah, it's very nice to know that you can spend £100 on a monitor now and get something that's actually quite nice.
Yeah.
Like, again, it's not a high-end monitor, it's 1080p. But for £100, that's stunning. So yeah, normally I would expect to spend like £120 or £130 to get a not terrible 60 hertz IPS. So yeah, good result. All right, thank you everyone for tuning in. I will be live on Twitch tomorrow with more Doom 2016. I'll be picking up our race playthrough and 100%ing that. And that's about it. We'll be back next week with something else.
Indeed. Until then.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
It's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me. I don't know. Goodbye
It's
from
goodbye
him.
from me. It's goodbye. Anyway, goodbye.
Bye. Live streaming isn't available right now. No! Studio, why are you like this?
Let me guess.
You've been locked out.
Yeah.
Verify that it's you. I apologise for the lack of drama in this exit. Bye. Now would be a great time to insert ads.
Okay.